where the suits all grind. There's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie Overlaw'd. He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all. Sharing legal knowledge, answering the call. He breaks it down in a language we all understand. The Aussie Overlaw'd taking a stand. With his Aussie charm and his legal know-how, he's the hero we need, showing us how. He fights for justice, no case too tough. The Aussie Overlaw'd, he's more than enough. He's more than enough. In Melbourne town, where the suits all grind, there's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie Overlaw'd. He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all. Sharing legal knowledge, answering the call. He breaks it down in a language we all understand. The Aussie Overlaw'd taking a stand. With his Aussie charm and his legal know-how, he's the hero we need, showing us how. He fights.
And there we go. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to today's episode of To Be Advised. Hope you're doing well, people. I had a whole other intro planned, but let's face it, like 10 minutes ago, I was still in a dead sleep. So, hey, I'm here, I'm awake. Thankfully, I was a little bit prepared and had the video set up, but go figure. What we're going to be looking at today is Courtney Clenney about, hang on, how long ago was it? About 15 hours ago, had a hearing based on her trial. For anyone that's been living under a rock, quick refresher, which will be helpful for me as well. Hang on, where's it gone? There it is. Courtney Clenney is on trial for the alleged murder of her boyfriend. Well, alleged. She's psycho. So, the incident took place on April 3, 2022 in their shared luxury condo in Miami, where he was fatally stabbed. Clenney admitted to stabbing, but claims that she acted in self-defense, asserting that she is the victim of domestic abuse. Do we actually think anyone can throw a knife that hard? I mean, it's not like she was an Olympic axe thrower. Wait, is axe throwing even an Olympic sport? No. I'm tired. Ignore me. But hey, you know what? That's what I was going to remember. That was what I was going to say. Just as you're filtering in, feel free to hit the like button. It costs you nothing. She asserted that she was a victim of domestic abuse. However, prosecutors argue that Clenney was the aggressor in the relationship, presenting evidence like surveillance footage and audio recordings from the apartment that depict a volatile relationship, to say the least. Stabby stab or perforated. Fair enough. The trial's garnered significant media attention and focusing on the complexities of domestic violence and self-defense claims, the handling of the evidence like text messages and digital data, however you want to pronounce it. So the hearing itself that was yesterday is about 58 minutes. After that, we'll see exactly where we go. In the meantime, I'm going to try and fix my damn robot because at least I think I worked it out. Just for the record, you have still been accruing your $1 people. Ozbot just hasn't been telling you about it, so... You need to say DP. Honestly, at this stage, Nicola, I suck at staying green when it comes to streams. We know this, okay? It's half the reason why my channel, you know, whatever. Did I ban Ozbot again? No, but I think what happened was that when I banned him, it immediately removed his moderator status, and I'm pretty sure that needs to be there for StreamerBot to be able to do what it needs to. So, anyway. Point is, I'll be playing around with the robot, Giggity, and we'll get through that. Ozbot went on strike. Yeah. All right. Oh, there we go. Like I said, at least you know the bot's still working because you guys get all these fun things that you get to play around with. So, all right.
Dance, monkey. Dance for your $1.
Oh, also, hang on very, very quickly. That reminded me. Thank you, Stingy. Pet Goldfish, Merry Xmas to you and your family. Sending hugs. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Matilda, thank you. Hello. Let's try and refrain from using too many of those during the hearing, okay? We'll treat this with standard trial rules. Okay, now you guys are just showing off. Hello, Hayden and chat from the Netherlands. Thank you very much. And thank you for the €2. Appreciate it. Alrighty.
Clenney, if everybody wants to announce their presences for the record.
Khalil Quinn and Kathleen Hogue for the state of Florida.
It's Master Chef, not Master Bait.
The defense.
Okay. And then good afternoon. And then I have the motion to intervene from.
You don't know how to live stream? Happy to help.
Okay. All right. So we had before us what defense had titled as the unopposed motion to determine the confidentiality of the court records and the state's memo of on regards to that motion. So we're here right now for that. It does relate to the motion to depose.
Whoa. Let's not get too serious. I didn't say you had to be respectful. I'm saying just given that we've got people watching and holy crap, there's already 100 of you, just take it easy in terms of like the ones that may annoy people and drive people away. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Clenney. But right now, the motion for intervention is what I think that we need to address before we go forward with that motion to depose.
All right, hang on. Let's see if I can boost the audio. Oh yeah, that helps. I'm just going to show everyone everything that's connected to the back. Wow, knew there was going to be a boomer stage. I didn't know that it was going to be quite that quickly. Audio router. I was having some issues, so I turned off all of my extensions at one point, and I was just trying to. All right, so I'll turn those both back on.
Dance, monkey.
Yes, Stingy, I mean like that. Nick Starrow. Oh, yes, people. Well, before I forget, for God's sakes, in, what is it, like 11 hours now, the Very Mighty Christmas. Nick's going to be hosting that. Make sure that you're over there. Make sure you've given it a, hit the like and give a, click the notification bell so you don't miss it. Okay?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Well, I try. Am I coming? That was one that I personally was going to sit out because I believe that should be more about the mods. But look, if it gets slow or whatever, I'll get there. Why the hell now have I got no audio on that? Because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We know this. And you watch. I've put this on. How much you want to bet this is going to double echo now too?
Two of the Miami Herald's motions to intervene, which I think were filed by both parties this week. So let me hear from the state and defense, both about the initial motion without referencing anything that's not already on the court record about what you're asking to be confidential. I think at the last setting, we almost went into some of those facts. We're not going to do that today. And then I'll hear from all of you I'll hear from the Herald about the motion to intervene, and then the state and defense about their responses to that.
Do you want me to start, Judge, since it's my?
I don't
yes,
understand why all of a sudden that's
Okay.
stopped working out of the regular one.
So, Judge, I don't know if you need me to, it's laid out in the pleadings, Florida Rule Judicial Administration 2.4.
What, you don't have sound now? What? Okay, that should have, that's showing audio on my end, which makes no sense whatsoever, freaking ever. The sound, but it's mega low, very soft sound. Okay, hang on.
420, kind of the process on how that works as far as subsection F in criminal cases, which takes you to a few other subsections, but really it is.
Okay, if I turn off the window capture and I go the other way, I should be able to manually boost it through the roadcaster.
C9A1, little I, Roman numeral I, that says that records are exempt if it prevents a serious and imminent threat of fair, impartial, and orderly administration. So that's kind of where we start in the rule, and then we move on. You received the document in question, and you know, I think the first thing to say is that document was drafted.
Yes, it's all good that you've got sound, but I had to mute my mic in order for that to work, otherwise it was going to double up. I'm screwed, and trying to work this out on very little sleep.
Specifically for litigation purposes. I think that's clear.
AP said Christmas tree, Merry Christmas. Your Christmas tree.
Either of both defense counsel had not already been made public through discovery or will not inevitably become public. What is inevitable to become public is not something that should matter to the court, because the defense in a case does not need to be laid out and until and unless the defense is ready to do that. Could be motions in limine that the court puts in an order as far as when that's due. It could be, for example, just generally speaking, if a defendant were going to testify at a trial, the court doesn't get to know that. The defense doesn't have to say anything. The prosecution doesn't get to know that unless the defense announces it, or right before it's that portion of the trial, the judge asks that of the defendant. So I think we can generally speak about the document without
Okay, I think I
going
got that
into
worked out
the
now.
specifics of it. Just like anything, it's obvious any defense lawyer
Alright. Shelby Fogg, thank you very much. The bots are writing. Yes, pretty much everything's writing at this point, but that's why I wanted to put this on. Gave me a little bit of a chance to try and work out what the hell I screwed up, because everything was working. So
lawyer is going to do investigation and do research, legal research, and try to find witnesses. Those are generalities, which we can talk about without getting into the actual specifics about what that is in the document. And I think that is what the rule requires for the judicial rule of administration. It says you must be able to specify and identify it, and with specificity, but without going into the reason why it's privileged. So I guess the real question here is.
yeah, I have no idea
is
whave.
this document
It should have.
privileged?
That's really
Attorney,
strange.
Client and work product. We believe it's both. And the standard is different with respect to both. And so I think the first thing the court needs to do is, one, determine if the documents.
I don't know why
or
they called it
document,
teal.
excuse me,
It's the green
is
super chats.
Attorney-client and or work product privilege. Two, if the court does believe it is one of either of those, whether it was waived when the defense.
Oh, the goals ended. That's
disclosed
why.
it to a third party.
Oops.
That was not Miss Courtney Clenney. And three, even if the court believes it is one, not privileged, or two, yes, privileged, but was waived, should that still be kept confidential and sealed? And I think this is the only part, and I'm not going to speak for Mr. Ponce, but I think that's where we kind of differ, which is even if the court doesn't believe this is a privileged document or believes we
Right, Oswald.
waived
I gotta
it,
fix Oswald.
it still
Focus,
should be
Aiden.
kept confidential because it's information that should not be disclosed to the public. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm happy to go into each of those. I did brief them, but I can speak briefly as to each of the privileges first and why we didn't waive it.
Give me your bullet points on the attorney-client privilege, and then we'll go into work product. Yes.
Okay. So with respect to attorney-client, if you look at 9502C 1 and 2,
Nicola Maxwell said, if you can't do this, how can I? Rolling on the floor laughing, my phone's 7 years old.
You may have, Bridget. Unfortunately, so did I while I was trying to sort things out. But from the sounds of it, there's something that they're trying to suppress prior to trial, but that they're arguing that if it comes into evidence anyway, it becomes public. So hopefully she'll go into a little bit more detail about it.
specifically, a communication is confidential if it is not intended for third parties except one, those to whom disclosure is in furtherance of the rendition of legal services, and two, those reasonably necessary for the transmission of the communication. So the question here
Okay,
is,
so it's something that was
what is
privileged.
in furtherance of the rendition of legal services? We know that the Clenneys, Mr. and Mrs. Clenney, the parents, are paying the legal fees. That came out in the Arthur hearing. Mr. Clenney testified and he talked about it. So the fact is, and this really applies to any case where family members are paying for the fees of their loved one, defense attorneys do speak to them because they need to discuss. Can you imagine what the ramifications would be if I just went to a client and I said, for example, give me $50,000, and I'm just throwing a crazy number out. Give me $50,000. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. I can't tell you anything about the case. I can't tell you any experts.
What are you talking about? That there are multiple instances where family.
MNHS06 said, "What is this?" And morning, everyone.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Oh.
Shelby_Fogg said, tomorrow I'm giving lollies to the kids I coach for payback to their parents.
Lone Star Livin said, for your cigar. I am waiting for this judge to fall asleep sleeping.
Okay, so her parents are paying for attorney fees. She's a millionaire. What the WTF? Yeah, and that seems to be what they're arguing, is that whether or not the communications between the attorney's office and the parents is privileged or not, and therefore is not open to discovery. There's plenty of instances where individuals have had family members pay their legal bills. They're still not the client. And I know from experience that if you're dealing with a third party, even if they're the ones paying the bill, they're not the client. Client privilege doesn't necessarily attach. I'm actually curious as to how they're going to try and spin this. I'm curious as to what precedent there is in this jurisdiction, because if I was a judge, I would have already ruled on this.
Any investigation, any motion, I'm not going to do anything. That's just not practical. And that's why the court specifically in this rule, actually, that's why it specifically allows for attorneys to be able to discuss if it's in the furtherance of rendering the legal services. And if you look to the case that we cited, Gerheiser versus Stevens.
I'm working on it, Billy.
Gerheiser versus Stevens, Stephen's. That's a fourth district case from 1998. And there's really not a lot of cases on this, Judge. So really this fourth district case, it was a mother who
Wasn't her
communicated
dad?
with the lawyer.
Hang on, guys. Forgive me, and yes, there's going to be a little bit jumping around because I'm still getting up to date with this. Wasn't her dad like her OnlyFans manager? So didn't he receive like a massive cut out of everything anyway? Like,
about hiring or retaining them
bit
for
creepy,
her son. The
if I'm
question
honest.
was whether that communication was privileged. And the court said that yes, it is privileged because it is in furtherance of rendering legal services. The state cited State versus Black, where it was not considered privilege, and that was a jail phone call between a defendant whose sister made a three-way call to the attorney. And what the court said is, no, this is not like the case of Gerheiser. This is different because one.
yeah, I mean, because it just because you pay the retainer does not mean that you yourself are the client and therefore entitled to all details. If only because it'd be a massive invasion of privacy. Yeah, for God's sake, woman, don't say three-way as well. It doesn't matter who engaged, because if the client themselves is Courtney, then privilege only attaches to communications with her. Pimming out your own daughter's a new low? Yeah. Us again now that we're in 1.25 speed. Okay, you know what? I'll leave it up to chat. Throw a 1 in chat if you want me to kick this up to 1.25. Stingy, you better have something else for me to watch after this, though.
Says the call is going to be recorded as you're making the call, so that should have been known. And two, in that case, the attorney didn't explain why, that person's needed to be on the call, so it can be
Got him a
distinguished.
moron. Hang on, I'll do as a poll.
As far
Just
as
to make things easier.
and just to be clear, Judge, we were communicating what needs to be done in the case because they need to understand in order to be able to be prepared for the costs that will be involved and to justify the fees that were being charged. So I think this clearly falls within a communication that would be under attorney-client. Now, with respect to work product is actually even, it's even broader. And the court knows about this because in the last hearing we had.
I will admit the work product exemption might be a little bit broader in this instance, and there may be a reason why the judge will actually provide her on that. I mean, if they're doing interviews with the parents to get their side of things and whatever else, maybe those would be exempt. But I still think this is swinging for the fences.
Had you even in the order, you distinguished between opinion and fact work
Hey, Andrew.
product. The case of State versus Rabin is very good at kind of laying that out. And actually the state cited a case that it doesn't really apply. It was in the corporate context for attorney-client privilege, but it gives a great analysis of work product privilege. And that is Burrow versus Forjas Taurus, Burrow. Forjas is Forjas, Taurus, Taurus. It's a Southern District of Florida case from 2018. I have a copy for the court if you would like.
All right, about a third of you had voted yes, so I'll speed it up. Oh, you can do a sleep timer now. Look at that.
And really, if you go to page 2, Judge Torres does a really great job at setting forth an analysis on work product. He talks about the difference between opinion work product and fact work product. And what he says on page 2 in the first paragraph dealing with the work product doctrine, he says, and this is on 1227 page, because the work product privilege looks to the vitality of the adversary system rather than simply seeking to preserve confidentiality, it is not automatically waived by the disclosure to a third party. It requires the party asserting protection under the work product doctrine to demonstrate that the drafting entity anticipated litigation at the time of the documents were drafted. I mean, clearly this is the roadmap, what we're going to do to prepare for trial. So I don't think there's any question. It was drafted in anticipation of litigation. And because this is about what it is, the logic behind it, the rationale of work product is that your adversary doesn't see your mental impressions. And that's what opinion work product is. It's the mental impressions of the attorney. Clearly, these are the mental impressions of myself and my team. And so.
Okay, that's a good question. Can I explain work product? Pretty much, so work product is pretty much anything that is prepared by a attorney for the purposes of furthering their client's interest. Now, whether that's letters to individuals, whether that's internal memos, pretty much anything that's prepared on behalf of the client in order to further their case. There's a lot of the time where certain things like that, there's exceptions to the rule, basically, but ordinarily you'd expect work product to be exempt because anything between the client and the attorneys would be privileged. But there are a number of exceptions. Now, I don't want to talk out of my ass because I don't know the jurisdiction just yet, and I'm hoping that they're going to explain. But there would be various circumstances where, yes, the work product may be discoverable and open. Rare, but there may be.
The question really is, was it disclosed in a way that your adversary would reasonably get access, that I would reasonably know my adversary is going to get access to the document? And the question then would become is, okay, I sent this email to the Clenneys. Would I have known that Mr. Quinnen or any of the prosecutors in the case would have been able to get access to the case? I would have to assume that and have knowledge or evidence that they got an iCloud warrant for them. I couldn't know that in the case. The parents are not part of the facts in this charge, and there would be no reason for me to know that. And let's assume that even I was afraid that somebody could look at it. This is why I titled it privileged. I titled the document checklist of things to do -privileged. And I agree with Mr. Quinnen just calling something.
Yeah, but we've got the same argument when it comes to without prejudice communications. Just because you title something privileged or confidential or without prejudice to it. So, for those of you that don't know, when you write a letter between attorneys from one party to another, a lot of the time when you're negotiating settlements, for example, you'll title it what's called without prejudice, which means it cannot be raised and used in court later on down the track if you've made concessions. If you're negotiating and you're saying, okay, we're willing to accept this lower offer than what our client is entitled to in the course and benefit of achieving a settlement, for example, provided that is titled without prejudice, generally that can't be raised in court and used against you down the track if it still proceeds. This is the exact same argument. Just because you title something privileged does not mean it's privileged if it doesn't meet the requirements, if it doesn't meet the boundaries. I don't like our argument here.
Privilege does not necessarily make it so, but this clearly is a privileged document when it's my mental impressions. It's work product. I claim it as work product, and I wrote that it was privileged. So the question becomes then about waiver. And just to go back in that case, on page 4, it says opinion work product enjoys a nearly absolute immunity. It is much more stringent than attorney-client privilege, which I still believe belongs here, but it is very hard to waive opinion work product privilege. And so then we have to ask ourselves, did that happen in this case? And in the work
pretty much talk, yes.
Aspect of it, Judge, no, I couldn't have known. I did everything to protect that document from being disclosed to people other than who was on that email. And the prosecutor stating that we have disclosed some of what's on it or will inevitably be disclosed, it doesn't matter. If a document is privileged, it's privileged from when it was and forever privileged. And so whether it's a roadmap of my case, whether I've already filed a defense witness list with some of the witnesses, whether I filed some motions, I can tell you that at least 9 points in there have not been disclosed to this court, to the media, to the prosecution, to the public. And whether the defense inevitably decides to put that out for trial, I don't even know yet because we haven't even set a trial date. We're still preparing. We're still investigating. There's a lot that goes into it. So I don't even know at this point, but there clearly could not have been any kind of waiver. Let me just see if there's anything else with respect to the waiver, Judge. And I don't know if you have any specific questions about what I've said so far.
I don't.
And I would probably wait to go into the third point, which is even absent those things, unless you want me to, but
Well,
even
we can wait and see whether or not.
And of course, I boomed the hell out of that. Thank you. After a while, hopefully you feel better since JH RIP. Yeah. What I was saying is that it was probably the fact that I wasn't in my regular office today. It was a little bit better and a little bit easier. So, yeah.
I agree with the Herald
Right.
that it's
because I don't think we
going to
get,
decide one
Okay.
or decide the
I
other.
don't think we get to three. So, okay.
All right, so let me hear from you, Mr. Clenney, about those points about the privilege first, and then we'll get to the ceiling and the confidentiality.
Yes, Judge. I think I would like to begin
Hey,
with
Jules.
Mr. Puglisi's argument that
No, all good.
Even if it might have been waived in some respect, the document, because it's quote opinion work product, maintains its privileged nature, even if she went on TV and literally said the 20 items on that. And I think that's incorrect. Just as a premise, if we proceed to trial, Ms. Clenney's convicted and she attacks her representation as ineffective, that privilege is waived. We get a copy of the file, we review a copy of the file. As common within a Rule 3 litigation. I think it's actually explicit in the rule and the doctrine about the waivers of privilege that come with that. So that's not correct. We have to read all of these rules together with one another. And so, as Ms. Puglisi correctly cited into 9502, it has to be in furtherance of the representation. So was this email communicated to the parents first as their other clients as witnesses? Yes or no? I think it's unequivocal no. That wasn't, this is what we're doing to prepare you as witnesses. It's, this is what we're doing on Courtney's case. So it was unequivocally uninvolved to Kim and Deborah Clenney's representation by Frank and Sabrina, or excuse me, Ms. Puglisi and Mr. Prieto. My brain just went to your first name. So it's unequivocally uninvolved with that representation. So it's regarding Ms. Clenney's representation. What within that email really discussed, we need, so for example, I'm gonna use Ms. Puglisi's example of money. We need $50,000 to do X. Okay, was that in that email? It was not. Was it,
Thank
we
you, Black
need
Horse, for
you
your
to sign an authorization
membership.
of, school records from Ms. Clenney so that we can build mitigation? Again, hypothetical situation. That's not what was there. That was, we want you to know what we are doing. Email. And that is a voluntary, that is a textbook voluntary disclosure to a third party, period, bar none. There was no request for work. There was no request for assistance. And the Gerheiser case that we cited to, that I appreciate Ms. Puglisi mentioning, and in the original privilege litigation, we also cited to a case called
He fucked up.
That is pure. He's not wrong. If they've legitimately done that, that's... You can't just give a summary of the case to a third party and not... It should have been a phone call. If you were going to do that, no records made, no nothing like that. Just absolutely, you don't put that in writing. Are you insane?
Wit versus Wit, and I can get that site for that for the court, where there are circumstances where family members can be agents. So in Gerheiser, that was a juvenile who was in custody and could not retain his own counsel. So his mother went to retain counsel. And what was privileged in that discussion was the discussions with the lawyer about the son's case, period, in terms of retaining that lawyer. That's not what we have here. Again, Mr. Prieto and Ms. Puglisi, as we argued in that proceeding, were already retained by Ms. Clenney. They
Thank
had
you, Iron
every
Rabbit.
means of going to go see her at the jail and talk to her at the jail and explain
it's just
what
gonna
they
be a
need and why
quiet
they
one.
need it. And as it pertains to her parents, if there's any kind of bill, for example, Miss Clenney has frequent calls with her parents. She could say, Dad, I spoke with my lawyers and they need the $50,000 for the thing that they're doing.
See?
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly protected. But the problem here is that that's not what existed in this email. That's not what occurred. Besides that, I don't entirely agree that it's opinion work product. At the end of the day, it's just a fact work product of, you know, we have to do X, we have to do Y, we have to do Z. It's not, I think that this is going to be a problem, or I think this witness is not credible, or what would actually impart impressions there. It's essentially call the witness, schedule the witness, get this, and I'm not quoting anything there. These are all hypotheticals because I have to tiptoe around it. It's a to-do list. It's not a we think this, we think that. So respectfully disagree as to whether it's opinion work product. As it pertained to the instant motions, and again, this is a slight shift from the privilege, because again, our position on the privilege has never changed, including as it pertains to the other litigation. And of course, we respect this court's order on that case, though we disagree as we outlined in our pleadings. This is inherently different in various different respects. Again, explicitly voluntary disclosure, but beyond the voluntary disclosure is the remedy. Well, I guess I'm getting into the other argument, so let me back off of that. The state's position as it pertains to the confidentiality was that all the matters should be confidential because it would necessarily limit our ability to discuss in the response to the deposition motion, the document, because that's a good chunk of their position. So all of the proceedings should be confidential. If the state is correct and the court agrees with the state and the court grants our motion or denies the defendant's motion, however that proceeds, then whatever is appropriate to be unsealed would be unsealed. The problem is that candidly, the defendant in their motion to compel and our deadlines in responding to that motion to compel required us to address at least one bullet point in that respect. So it's put us in a position now where, you know, the cat's already out the bag, the bell's been rung. So there's that aspect. And then finally, as Ms. Puglisi mentioned, there's at least 9. I haven't really re-reviewed that document on purpose for this court's reasons and for collateral matters. But if there are 9 things, and I'm assuming it was 20 items on the list, just taking their word for it, 11 of them should not be redacted. So at the end of the day, that's the bottom line law is, as I don't care whether it is or isn't sealed, but that's just the state of the law. So.
Judge, with respect to Mr. Courtney doesn't believe that it's work product. So the rules, sorry, yes, opinion work product. The rule states the mental impressions, conclusions, opinions, or legal theories of a party's attorney or other representative concerning the litigation. That does not say and in between there. It says or. The mental impressions. Those bullet points, it does not say it has to be in a paragraph format, how it needs to be put. Those bullet points show, after evaluation and knowledge in the case, things that need to do. Those are mental impressions moving towards litigation. I mean, I don't think it could be more clear than the fact that this is opinion work product. Now, as far as the attorney-client privilege, yes, this is not a communication that involved our representation of the Clenneys as the parents. This had to do with Courtney Clenney and her representation. And it's just not practical what the state attorney is saying, and I don't think this is what the rule says, which is that yes, we were retained, but that doesn't mean that costs don't still come up throughout the case, that you're not still discussing with the family about the case. And it says here, it says.
Sorry, for those of you that are wondering, the things down the bottom in chat, they're you guys. That's a visual representation for me of who's in chat, who's chatting, and all that sort of stuff. So, also for anyone that didn't get any sort of explanation for it, the reason I'm trying to fix my Ozbot is because each one of you is generating $bucks at the moment, which is my channel reward points. So for every 5 minutes that you put something in chat just to say hello or wave a hand, whatever else, an emoji to float around the screen, whatever, you get $5. And there's a whole menu of things that you can do during streams. I do ask that we try and keep the more annoying ones to a minimum during things like this where we're watching trials. But, you know, it's all in good fun.
He says, Mr. Quinnan said, it's what you want you to know what we are doing. Yes. How is that not disclosure in furtherance of the rendition of legal services? That's exactly right. What he said, it falls exactly under that definition.
Pavlova.
And so it's just
irrespective of what New
defensive
Zealanders
attorneys
say.
don't do that. They don't talk to their clients about the fees when he has no access to the money. So you're talking to the people who have access to the money and pay it, and you're talking to them about what
that works. Thank you.
You're doing. And this is just very common communication. And as far as even if we've disclosed some, because that's part of our case, we've done it through filing defense witness lists. That doesn't mean that, okay, you can unseal or disclose part of it. I've not read any case that says part of the document can be privileged and part now. Now I have read some cases that they've talked about, okay, if you have 5 documents, maybe one document would be sealed and the others are not, but there's never been something that, okay, part of this document it's a privileged document. It doesn't matter and it should not be disclosed. And again, I won't go into the third point because I think it would matter for the court to determine whether it's privileged or not first, and then whether we waived it. But I think the strongest argument here, I believe work product has not been, attorney-client hasn't been waived, but either way, the standard is not the same between the two. It's almost always immune in the opinion work product. So I would just make sure it's clear that the standard is different. And I don't know what Mr. Quinnen needs to say that needs to be on the record that he can't say without like us having to seal the entire proceedings. I feel like we all know, the court and the attorneys here involved know what it's pertaining to.
That's what we're gonna get to next.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the issue of privilege. And what I want to hear next is what it is that, given what you're arguing is privileged, what it is that you're asking, defense is asking.
And we've reached that time of the night. To be fair, Jeff said don't do coke in the bathroom. I do it in studio.
Asking to be sealed versus what state is asking me to be sealed, and then we'll hear from Miami Herald about their response.
There we go.
So
Osborne's back up and running.
Judge does, if you go through the case, Lewis versus the Miami Herald, I think it does lay it out. And I think the biggest thing at the end is it says it has to be the least restrictive. Because
So for you guys, it's just essentially the one document.
it is, I think that protects it, as long as we are not discussing like the absolute details of what's included. We can talk around it in generalities, but I don't see, and I haven't heard Mr. Quinnen point to anything that makes me feel like we can't do it and just seal that one document.
Right, so Mr. Quinnen,
Wait, what?
before I get to the Miami Herald, why is it that you believe in, counsel for the Herald also suggested that you discuss this with them. Why do you believe that more things need to be sealed if I decide that document?
Judge, as it is, just as a premise, in our response to the motion to compel the deposition of myself, I had to note at least a single quotation about paragraph 19. Our response, we had to, for lack of a better term, neuter it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, specifically here, we have a rule where, as I was saying before, hang on.
Stingy number 1 Aussie friend said just because I send lewds of myself to Aussie and label them privileged, doesn't mean he won't laugh, post them everywhere and then vomit.
Gross. You're not wrong, but gross. Hang on, where are we? No, shit, where was the one that... Sorry, I was trying to bring up Aaron's chat again. Interesting argument. So if you put something privileged in an email and there are other non-privileged info, then becomes privileged? No, it doesn't. Very specifically, there are rules against that. So again, I'm only speaking from my jurisdiction. I'd be very interested to hear what the judge has got to say about that, because ordinarily the rule would be that insofar as information that is not privileged is contained in a communication, that would be carved out. You can't just blanket make all information in something privileged because you say it is. That's not how it works. Like if I do up a letter and I include some information about a legal case, and then I go off on a random tangent and start talking about, I don't know, my Christmas holidays or the client's dog, and it's completely irrelevant, unrelated information. I mean, you could make the argument about work product, but I still wouldn't necessarily think it would extend that far.
So we couldn't go in through the dynamics and the aspects. We can only touch about the topics broadly as to privilege, waiver of privilege, why the waiver of privilege was perceived and assumed under those circumstances, and so on and so forth, just kind of broadly. As the court recalls in the litigation on the computer case, the pleadings on these topics were north of 20 pages. And this one obviously was 10 for several reasons, but we could not go into meat and potato issues. Again, as we've been tiptoeing around here, and as admitted by Ms. Puglisi, at least 11 of the 20 items have been disclosed already publicly. And again, that buoys the point that...
Sorry, I know I'm interrupting again, but the good way to think about it is, for something to be privileged between you and another party, could the attorney charge you for the information being provided to you or the communication to you? Is a really good rule of thumb to work out whether or not something should be privileged between yourself and the attorney. Sent Stripe Skydive Scarlet. Thank you. I'll have a look. Cheers. Crappy week. Woke up to my mum's message that my sister had a seizure and went to an ambulance at 2 a.m. She's okay, but has a gut infection that stopped her absorbing her seizure meds. Jesus, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Wow.
That voluntary disclosure is waiver, period. So, which by the way, it's their burden to show through evidence, which they also have not done. Counsel's assertion is not enough, and admission that this was disclosed to a third party with consent, as we noted in our arguments, that's essentially it. Is there was consent to tell the parents the status of the case? Because at the end of the day, as the court noted, and the state relied on both internally and externally through advice and research, the parents' representation by Mr. Prieto and Ms. Puglisi was problematic to begin with. That doesn't preclude it. We've gone down the rabbit hole. That's a dead horse that I don't want to beat any further. But the point is that this has nothing to do with the parents' representation, and it only exclusively has to do with Ms. Clenney's representation, and it's completely unnecessary to have been disclosed in those circumstances. Again, the proffered excuse was that, it's to let them know that we need money or we need this. That's not what that communication says. That's just telling them, hey, this is a status.
That again goes to my determination of whether it's privileged. So I'm asking you, why does it you believe that you can't just reference the document in your pleadings or reference the bullet points in your pleadings without having to seal everything else?
I mean, a standard legal analysis is like in this case where X, Y happened. I cannot do that. That's just a practical aspect. So I have to make these arguments broadly about that it wasn't privilege and privilege was waived, and I can't address why or how. I can only really say, et cetera. And as it is, again, referencing the court to page 7 of our response on the motion to depose,
second degree murder. Because she admits that she stabbed him, but she's saying that it was self-defense. Kind of laughable, honestly.
he narrowed it as explicitly as possible to the pertinent bullet point as to how the document even came up in our search. So, that's just the practical reality of being able to respond really neuters our ability to address it. Even if we just go ahead and say, you know what, the court relies on that and on what we've already put and is understanding our arguments around the parameters of that. Again, the first bullet point had to be disclosed. That was part of the problem with this timeline of the briefing.
No, she hasn't given up on the throwing the knife. She's saying she threw the knife as in self-defense.
Being referenced on paragraph 19 of page 7 of our response. So we were okay with the records being sealed, hence why it was called an oppose, for the purposes of just getting this over with. And then however the court rules is however the court rules, and whatever is appropriate to be protected is protected, and whatever's not, that's perfectly fine. And the pleadings could be redacted and so on. But that I had to file a pleading by last week, Friday, in response, necessarily undercut the.
Hey, Glennis. In my opinion, not a huge amount so far. They're arguing over whether or not correspondence between Courtney's parents, which had a complete update on their case, should be considered a privileged document or work product. Why would you have to throw a knife in defending yourself? Doesn't make sense. Nope. Really doesn't. It was a shaky defense to begin with, and I'm really going to look forward to seeing the body cam footage and the security footage in this.
Defendant's premise of their motion. So they did not have to file their motion to compel the day after they filed the motion to determine the confidentiality is what I'm getting at. And by forcing that issue and forcing us to respond within the parameters, it necessarily undercut the premise of their sealing. So,
Any response?
I mean, I don't know what Mr. Quinn wants to say, so it's hard for me to say that. I mean, I didn't think it was the least restrictive means. I really don't care so much whether it's sealed. I think the Miami Herald has something more to say about that.
Look, if they can't have warning shots, I don't think warning throws are going to help.
It needs to be the least restrictive, and if you ask me, that's what it was.
Okay. All right, let me hear from, remind me again your name.
Scott.
All right, Mr. Ponce, if you'll come forward to the microphone, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Scott Ponce from Holland Knight on behalf of the Miami Herald. I think maybe the best place for me to start is to explain why I'm here. I mean, obviously, anytime a motion comes across saying sealing criminal proceedings, my client's antenna goes up. But this one in particular, when we got the motion and read the motion, it seemed to me that there were discrete issues that were kind of being conflated and bouncing off each other. And when I emailed counsel for the parties from vacation, no less, when I emailed counsel for the parties to try to get an understanding, I got maybe even a little bit more confused. Although the judge I clerked for at a law school said, never say you're confused. And as I read it, what seemed to be my understanding of it was that there's a document, the defense contends it's privileged. The defense would like to make that an exhibit to an amended motion to disqualify. And it seemed like the issue of whether the document is privileged was going to be briefed in the disqualification papers also. And that seemed to not be the least restrictive means. And that was our concern, was that a motion to disqualify the state attorney's office needs to be done in public. This is a public institution, and the notion that that briefing might be sealed was problematic.
Wait, I may have missed that. Hang on. What?
Least restrictive means. And that was our concern, was that a motion to disqualify the state attorney's office needs to be done in public. This is a public institution, and the notion
I do have to agree with him on that.
Briefing might be sealed was problematic, especially problematic because it seemed like it didn't need to be. So our thought was, and I apologize if the papers were presumptuous, I don't think that they were, was that it made sense to determine in the first instance whether the document's privileged. Because if it's not,
I'm fine with the way that you outlined it.
all right. Well, thank you. Makes me feel better then. So the thought being that if the document is not privileged, then I don't know that there's any basis to seal any document to which it's attached. If you find the document is privileged, and again, I'm not attorney for the parties and I'm the stranger here and I know least about this than everyone in this room, but it's not clear to me why the document would need to be attached to anything. I mean, your honors reviewed it, your honor will determine it's privileged. Okay, the state saw it. Is there a basis to disqualify him on that basis? I don't, when we talk about least restrictive, I'm not sure why the document would have to be attached to something. But again, I think in the first instance, our concern was that there was suggestion in the papers, at least as I understood it, that the issue of whether the document was privileged was going to be briefed as part of the disqualification issue. And that the state's position was that if that were the case, then everything in the disqualification papers had to be sealed. And that felt like too much. So I'm happy to answer questions if you have any. I obviously can't speak to the privilege issues, nor do I want to. But that's kind of why I'm here and why this came up on our radar.
I tend to agree with you as to the way that you've outlined it, which is again why I've asked the state to explain to me why it is that I can't simply rule on this being privileged or unprivileged. And if I do rule that it's privileged, why it means that everything attached to it must also be sealed. And I kind of understand your argument that in order for you to make a full analysis, you believe that you have to reference the exact exact portions of all the bullet points in the email that was sent. But I'll let you address what it is.
Well, Judge, I mean, again, if the topic has been voluntarily disclosed and it's been voluntarily disclosed, whether it's
aside from whether or not I say that I do rule that it's privileged.
Sure.
Why again?
Okay, so then
But say that I do.
okay, so then part of the analysis as it pertains to both the deposition and disqualification is what prejudice, if any, right? What prejudice, if any, exists from the inadvertent disclosure of this document, right? And the items contained within that document. Well, what prejudice, if any, exists to the defendant if her lawyer went on TV on July 8th of 2023 and said, we are doing that checklist?
Well, I don't think that that's the analysis that we're talking about for sealing.
No, oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Not sealing right now.
It has been years already, Jude. I can't believe it. 25 months. Wow. So 2 years, 1 month. Thank you for the memberships. Okay. I've just been able to wrap my head a little bit more around exactly what's happening here. So because that email outlining their case was sent to the parents, either it was privileged or not, in which case it's a basis for the state attorney's office to be removed and have to be replaced in order to try the case, which would be incredibly detrimental for the state, let's be perfectly honest, having to up and move everything, and it would potentially delay the trial down the track as well. But the judge has basically got to rule specifically whether or not that of itself is sufficient to prejudice the defense in such a way that they can have the prosecutors recuse themselves. And beyond that, it sounds like on the basis that the document is privileged, that they're trying to remove the prosecutors. And the prosecutors have come back and said, well, A, it's not privileged, but B, even if it is privileged, if we have to have a hearing on it, we want to make sure that that case is sealed. So that's why that third lawyer was there. I can see why this got interesting. This does have the potential to blow the trial down, to kick the can down the line. But I kind of see where the judge is coming at, because she could potentially just rule on this one particular document rather than sealing everything. And I kind of feel like she's already made up her mind. I kind of feel like she's leaning towards saying that it's going to be privileged. And then open the hearing. They're not going to enjoy that. That's going to be a public colonoscopy.
Oh, Judge, again, the parameters is if the court assumes that it's privileged, then I can't discuss those materials openly, right? So if I can't say, you know, they said they were going to hire blank, and they also said that on TV.
Oh
You see
yeah,
what I'm
always
saying?
make
If
sure
the
you're
matter
still
is privileged,
subscribed.
sealed, I can't say they said.
Let me put it this way. I just went onto my Ozbot channel and realized that was part of the problem. Is that yes, I had banned it during my stream earlier in the week, but as it turns out, it was also my own thing was unsubscribed from my channel. So
They said this on TV. There is no prejudice.
Yes.
So here's where sorry.
wait, where's the audio? Damn it, it must have screwed up. How do I insert the fart noise in a super chat? You should just be able to still use the exclamation fart. Nick.
I raised my hand like I was in third grade. Where I get confused here.
Thank you for the super
Why
chat.
a discussion in the disqualification context?
Because if there's no prejudice, then there's no basis to disqualify.
Okay, I mean, it's just something I'm trying to understand, trying to be a partner here and work through this. Trying to understand why, if there's a determination made that the document's privileged, and there's a determination made that the state saw it, I'm trying to understand why are we still talking about what's in the document or not and a disqualification issue if that matters.
You are a lifesaver.
Because
Thank
again,
you.
if it's in a privileged document that was assuming it's privileged because we don't take that position, and the basis of disqualification is they saw our strategy. It's like, but you also told everybody your strategy.
Why
Then-
should you be disqualified?
Yes.
Okay,
And
that's what I'm
the
trying to
problem.
understand.
And that's the problem is I cannot, I mean, again, if the court, listen, Google alerts are a beautiful thing. And so everything on this case that has come up from the defense telegraphing their case, it has come up. So again, half of that, from my original viewing of that, and again, I haven't parsed it recently, quite literally everything on there has been discussed in one respect or the other.
Like you could
So
reference the bullet points without going into exactly what.
Hang on. Of course you freaking wrote it. How are you, mate? Okay, do I have to put more of a timer on that so that you guys don't abuse that? Come on. But thank you. I'll have a look at that. See where the judge is coming at. Well, you know. Turner
What
froze.
was in that document if I did rule that it was privileged, because like, obviously the balancing test here is issues that you guys are talking about regarding the public interest, and there is a right for the public to, you know, view pretty much everything in this criminal case minus what might be privileged. So do you not think that there would be a way to craft if I did rule that it was privileged in a way that didn't actually quote anything in that? Because I feel like you're
yeah, Judge, I could theoretically say bullet point number 1 and then X, and bullet point number 2, then X. But then X was already disclosed, outlines what bullet point number 2 is. So for example, I'm just going to use something that is in the public domain. Find Arthur Cupp, right, as the witness that is alleged to have seen everything else, right? Off the top of my head, I don't know if that's there, but you guys check on me. So let's say that's item number 2, find Arthur Cupp. So instead of saying, for example,
Oh, shit, strike.
item
Thank
number
you.
2 was disclosed to the media on this date at this time by Mr. Prieta when he said, we've located Arthur Cupp. How am I not disclosing item number 2 in making that argument?
Isn't it just you're not using his name?
I mean, I think that you could just say the witness was.
I mean, that's the point is how is it that I don't, in saying,
Well, listen, I don't think that I don't think that you need to worry about that. I think that you can make the argument if they've already disclosed it and if it's in the public domain already, you can reference whatever's in the public domain. And that issue is a defense issue.
yes, and that's we've already articulated
Yeah.
that as much.
So-
But that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
that's
is at
amazing.
this
Thank
juncture,
you,
we've
Nicola. I
already
appreciate
gone
it.
as close as we can without going and making a deeper analysis on our motion to strike. So at this point, that's why I'm
You
saying
better, it's Christmas.
the defendant's attempt to maintain the records confidential.
That's
is-
their issue
yeah.
as to whether or not they have already gone public with this information. But I do think that I could give you the parameters and you could easily, I think, draft a response knowing that I am able to see the document that wouldn't necessarily quote the document. You know, your reference of any public disclosures by the defense.
I think I need to.
I mean, feel free to reference that in whatever way you want to. It doesn't mean that you're the one putting that, you know, quoting the document. I think that's on them.
I also think that if that becomes an issue, we can always go sidebar. Mr. Quinnen can lay forward, you know, to the court, off the record, this is what I'd like to say and I can't say it because of
And
this. And then we can decide that, yes, okay, now there's a basis. We should seal it because you can't make that argument unless it's
I
out.
tend to agree with you, and I understand what you're saying now. I understand what you're saying about needing to show prejudice for all the elements that are in there, but I think that
Yes.
could be done without referencing the document. Okay.
Yes,
All right, now
but
I've
again, let's
lost
not
my
abuse that
place.
one
All
either.
right, Mr. Ponce, was there anything else that you wanted to say about that? All right, do you have anything that you want to say about your response to what Mr. Ponce had said? Because it seemed like you were essentially in agreement with the idea of going with the privilege first and then deciding what needed to be, whether anything needed to be sealed. But you said that there was one thing that you disagreed with, I feel like. No?
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think, it was only that if the court doesn't find it's privileged or finds that the defense waived it, I think that Mr. Ponce's argument is then, okay, then it should be disclosed. And our argument would be no, because it still is our mental impressions of the trial and there's no reason for the public to see it. And unlike what Mr. Quinnen is saying, that yes, the timing now is such that it's been disclosed. Some of these things have been disclosed. They're part of the public record, as you said. And we have
Kitchen Knife Rescue coming in with the commentary there. Can say as somewhat of an expert, there is no way for serrated blade to sink in that deep as it did simply for being thrown across the room. I would expect not, if I'm perfectly honest. Having seen the footage that we have seen so far, it's, yeah, I don't believe so. Gonna fart for each ad I see. You heard it, people. It's now got a 60-second cooldown on it. If you want to get in with it, you're going to have to be racing with Wim.
discussed it in the media, but not all those things have. And that entire document is a privileged document. Whether we have disclosed some of it or all, doesn't mean the whole thing should be disclosed. It's privileged. And so, and I can matter of factly say that not all of those items have been discussed in the media at all. So,
And I don't think that he's disagreeing with that, Mr. Quinnen.
I'm neither agreeing nor disagreeing, Judge. I can't. Again, I've on purpose recently avoided.
Okay, so yes, you've got your bullet points. All right, did you want to address anything else that Mr. Ponce had said or that the Miami Herald's concern is, other than what you've already said about why you believe that there needs to be a broader?
No, Judge, we were generally in agreement to maintaining that prophylactically. Our position was just that let's get this over with, and then after the fact, let's just get everything over with, and then after the fact.
Yeah, the idea was to get it over with before the new year. That's not going to happen, but we're at least at this point. Okay, so I agree with the idea of ruling on the privilege first, and then deciding what needs to be. Actually, I mean, I can make the ruling. I can make both at the same time, based on what you guys have said, unless you have any other arguments that need to be made.
Judge, as it pertains to the waiver issue, I mean, I didn't go down the dynamics of that. Again, we have separate parties. And by separate parties, I mean, there's a state of Florida versus Courtney Clenney. There are witnesses within that case. Those witnesses can have representation at the time.
Right. And by both, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. cut you
Oh,
off.
crap. I just realized I was too busy with everything else that I wasn't actually keeping track. Yeah, guys, for anyone that doesn't know, 10 memberships per stream, and I completely turn off the ads as far as I can. So, yeah.
By both, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with ruling.
Doesn't
on
mean
the issue of
YouTube
privilege
won't
and what
still
should be
insert them,
sealed,
but I won't
not
be the
that
one
we're
that's in charge of
arguing
them.
the motion for-
No, it's on the privilege aspect because again, there were certain aspects of it that go more towards that dynamic.
Means I
But
should at least put one down.
the essentially the broad stroke rule that the defense is trying to propose, where the parents are always agents
Hey,
of
Danielle.
the defendant or have been always agents, is not one that's actually premised within the doctrines of attorney-client privilege or within the jurisprudence or within that rule. And specifically, what I'd refer to is several different dynamics. First is the defendant has several jail calls with her parent. Does that mean that because her father administers her
Happened
money,
in 22,
that I
Glennis.
can't review the jail calls that she has with her parents? Logically, no, that doesn't follow. Notwithstanding that they're being told it's recorded or not, that's completely immaterial. Whether it's privileged or not, we should not be. Even if it is recorded, I believe all jail calls are recorded, even with counsel, but we don't get the ones with counsel. We explicitly are excised. They have to fill out paperwork and so on and so forth. So whether it's recorded or not is completely immaterial. And what's happening here is,
Thank you, Goldfish.
for lack of a better term, because they keep using this term Team Courtney
You
in
got
this
that.
group chat. That was not evident in the group chat, first of all. But notwithstanding,
Aaron,
that, it's just because
congratulations.
you have a support group and everybody wants to know about what's going on and what's being done. It's incumbent on the counsels and their clients to keep those lines of demarcation. For example, if Ms. Puglisi met with Ms. Clenney at the jail and said, we're going to do X, and then she picks up the phone and calls her mom and says, my lawyers are doing X, that privilege is waived. Ms. Hogan actually prosecuted another case where there was a similar circumstance where their representation was paid by a third party. I'm not going to go into the details because it's a little bit sensitive, but that third party had a complete barriers to the representation. Certainly, if you got a call and say, look, we need X more money because we have to hire an expert, I got to talk to my client, we should excise from there. And I explicitly use the example of when parents go in with a client to an interview, how the parents are supposed to be excluded from that interview with the client if they are to maintain any privilege, because if it gets discovered, we can compel that testimony, which again, to the further privilege aspect is the defense in December of 2022, when this email is being sent, knew A, the defendant was in communication with her mom, both written and oral, that they provided us photographs that Deborah Clenney took from her device on April 6th, 3 days after the homicide, purportedly showing bruising that was, again, purportedly caused by the victim. And so they knew that we had a basis to want Miss Deborah Clenney's phone. And
Teresa K. Love You Gesture #free Zachariah Anderson said, contributing towards the goal in honor of Jeff. Hopefully he will let you enjoy this one. Tears of joy.
Thank you very much. I very appreciate it. Ironically, that stream was the first time that my mum realized that I smoke cigars. She said that it's better than smoking, so she still wasn't impressed from the sounds of it, but it was better than actually smoking. So
she was within the jurisdiction for me to subpoena it. So what is on her phone? That is a textbook voluntary disclosure to third parties. That's what this document is. And again, calling it privilege, naming it privilege does not make it so. That document could have been called privilege and it could have the scores for the Heat game and the stats. That doesn't make it so. And in this context, even if it was, which we don't necessarily disagree that it was when it was created. We disagree that it was opinion because it's just facts of what we're doing. But once it was put into an email and sent to the third parties, that was waived. And just as a perspective, the two exceptions there are for the purposes of the representation. The second one you had it. It's for the purpose of the communication functioning, I believe. It's the second one that you mentioned.
Reasonably necessary for the transmission of the communication.
Correct. So it's reasonably necessary. So that would be Outlook or Google or whoever the servicer of that email is. We didn't intrude on Google, et cetera, or any of that stuff. We got it from Miss Deborah Clenney's iCloud. A, not knowing that there was a representation there. And then B, under the circumstances where that email was even open, it said update, not update privilege or privilege communication or any of that aspect. And B, the document did not reference Kim and Deborah Clenney's representation in any way. It was explicitly about Courtney and what they were doing about Courtney's case, which again is textbook, top to bottom, within four corners, voluntary disclosure under 90.507.
Judge, I'm just going to say that I think the state tends to join the two privileges together, and we have to make sure we keep them separate: attorney-client and opinion work product. Opinion
She's
doesn't
trying
have to be
hard.
your opinions. It says mental impressions. Mental impressions are your thoughts. There's no question. These were my thoughts. And yes, it could have been the scores to the Heat game, but it was not.
There it goes.
And it said privileged on it. And the prosecutor should have stopped when he saw a communication from attorneys to anybody and should have said, oh, I see an attachment that says privilege. He didn't stop at that point. He actually forwarded it to law enforcement, thereby making it a public record. So we have to, all his descriptions about it's not a jail call, which of course is recorded, and it doesn't have to be about finances. It doesn't have to say the magic words. This is, we need money from you. It says disclosures and furtherance of the rendition of legal services. These are points that help to justify what is being done in the case to represent their child. So I think it's very clear this is both attorney-client and work product, and that there was no waiver at any time, especially in the work product. It was meant to be kept from the eyes of our adversary.
You don't believe that that was waived when you disclosed it to the parents?
In
As a third
opinion,
party?
no, because opinion, especially opinion work product, it talks about you can disclose to third parties. The question is whether you reasonably could have known that it would get to the eyes of your adversary. So by giving, they're two totally different standards. So by us giving this information to the parents of what our opinion is in the case, the question is, could we have known that the prosecutors would have seen this email? And in order to prevent that, that's why you write privilege, so that you know that only the family, the people you're sending it to, are going to see it.
I have a slight disagreement because Ms. Puglisi keeps referencing adversary. So first, again, as witnesses, whether by us or by the defense, they would be subject to subpoena. And we could have taken sworn statements of them and possibly had discussed that, where we asked the question, have you discussed your daughter's case with the lawyers? So it wouldn't be a question about, did you discuss it as a witness and client of theirs? It would be, did you discuss it regarding her representation, and they might have been compelled to answer that. The second part is that the standard is not adversary. It's that the communication was made with the intent to keep it secret. Now, certainly it was meant to keep secret with Kim and Deborah Clenney. The problem is that as third parties to State of Florida versus Courtney Clenney, it's a voluntary disclosure. The very act of attaching it to the email and sending it to them constituted the waiver.
Judge, and I don't totally understand what he's saying with respect to, there's no way they could have been compelled to answer that, but adversary is the state attorney's office in this case. That's who the adversary is to Courtney Clenney. And so clearly it was not meant to do that. And I can find the case, but it does talk about that.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, my understanding is adversarial party.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything further before we stop for the day? And give me time to read through everything and issue another written order.
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Look, more than likely, but no, what he has written is a very detailed paper on this almost specific subject. So I'm going to be reading through that. Steve, I won't read through it on stream to protect your intellectual property and all that jazz. But thank you for pointing that to me. I'll give it a read.
So my order will be number one on the nature of privilege, whether I believe that it is privileged or not privileged, and two, if I believe that either it's privileged or not privileged, whether I believe that anything should be kept confidential, and if I do believe that it's confidential, what should be kept confidential. Okay.
No, not. I thought Steve already was.
Everybody follow that?
Yes.
All right, and
Hang on.
you're not Marvin, so I don't know how long to ask you for the transcript. What is your name? Alex. Okay, Alex, if I want a transcript, will I be able to get it in 10 days? Given the holidays, 10?
Yeah.
They should be there. I have copies. No, I have copies for orders there. If you look, there should, you guys, Ollie. No. All right, so let me reset it for 10 days for transcript, and then hopefully we'll get the transcript then, and then I'll give it a reset date for you. And if I get the transcript, I'll give you all.
Oh, cheers, Steve.
Okay.
Thank you.
Judge, are we not then going to the motion to depose today? You're going to wait
not.
until that? Okay.
Because I agree, they should be separated.
Okay.
1-3 is 10 days from now.
All right, so still got another 4 minutes. I don't know if they're just going to be sitting around or
I
not.
feel bad, but we'll do 1-3 and yes. We're just gonna keep moving. Okay. All right, thank you. And then what was your name again, Alex? What was your last name? What is it? But what's your last name?
Did you want to set a date for?
Right now, I'm just gonna give the transcript and then I mean, you can try to set a date, but let's just, everything takes. longer than I
Oh,
think
it's
it's gonna
actually
take,
what I
so-
might do is I might run
So
through
once
it.
we get
I'll
the
read through
ruling,
it
we should
first,
call-
and then if I have any questions, I'll give you a buzz if that's all right. Because we do have a soft sit video that I wanted to finish off on just to round out the stream.
Your JA and ask
I think
for,
once we get the date for the ruling, you can probably come up with the date for the deposition.
okay.
For the motion for deposition. Alejandro Silva, and are you also with laws? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you. You as well, Judge.
If anyone wants to read in the meantime, I'll put the link in
So
chat.
we're all gonna take a brief break and then we're gonna go on to white. I'm sorry, but I am giving you guys lots of days off. What's today, the 19th? 18th. Today, the 18th.
Okay. All right. So I'll pause that there. Stinge, I'm not 100% sure which one you're talking about. I was going to pull up the crap. I had someone getting actually yanked out of a car. Was it? No, the reason that I wanted to watch this one is it's titled YouTube Law Student Gets His Car Window Obliterated When He Escalates a Civil Traffic Stop. I don't believe we've watched this one before. It doesn't have a thumbs up, but we all know that I can't keep track of that sort of shit, so. Been stockpiling soft sit videos to show, just haven't got to it yet. It's a fun time. For those of you that are watching, this coming Monday's episode for Body Cam will be No You Can't Float Out of This Miss. After that, we'll probably be back to soft sit videos the following week. Actually, hang on. What is Monday? I haven't even checked my calendar. Monday is the 23rd. Yep, so that should be fine. There's an undercover FBI who got a bunch of cops jacked up for corruption. I did see that, Bifrons. And I kind of... We'll play this one first, and then I'll see if we've got time. I'll pull that one up as well. As always, credit to Van Bellion and all the other channels. Thank you very much to Midwest Safety, who reached out a little while ago. And I can tell you right now, this guy's this guy's voice is going to irritate me. But yeah, so that's where we stand on Clenney. So we'll hear in 10 days as to what the
Stingy number 1 Aussie friend said it's explore with us doing her.
I don't even want to know. Oh, that's the one you sent me. Okay. All right, we'll see. Let's have a look, see where this goes. But yes, so in 10 days, we'll know whether or not the court's going to rule on that inadvertent disclosure, which is good because that gives me 10 days to read Steve's paper and form my own opinion as to how I think things should proceed.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh, shit. At least it didn't cost you anything, Reed. I still haven't fixed that one yet. I don't know why it works on some and not on others. I have no idea. Anyway, let's get into this, shall we?
Forcibly removed you out the vehicle. Do you understand?
4 feet to the left. Do it now. Get us. Why would you ask me to roll up a window that can't be rolled up?
My right is my car.
My right is my car.
Welcome back to the Van Balian channel, guys. Today we head to Pleasantville, New York, courtesy of Police Stories TV. Link to their channel, as always, is in the description, where a DoorDash driver, chauffeur driver, substitute teacher, and let's add YouTube law student gets his car window busted out when he refuses to comply following a traffic stop for not using the turn signal. Right, let's get into the video.
Like, I can't talk. I haven't stopped for a single stop sign in the ATS game.
I'll be Cambridge and Woodland, but not been a reference to moving.
What's up, man? Roll down the window. Huh? It's frozen? Try to roll down. It's frozen? Alright, the reason why I'm stopping you, first of all, you were in a private lot, just sitting back there. I see you got a blanket on, assuming you were sleeping back there. And secondly, the reason why I'm pulling you over, when you came out the lot, you didn't signal. Do you have license, registration, proof of insurance? Huh? Okay, can you provide that with me? Provide that for me?
So this is the part where you hand over your license and registration, which to his credit he does, until it comes to providing proof of insurance, which, like many of us, he has on his phone.
Listen, okay. Give me 1 sec. Appreciate it. Do you have registration for the vehicle? That's registration right there. Excuse me, proof of insurance. I'm sorry.
I don't think the cop's high. I think he's just...
Okay. Appreciate it.
Maybe it's the middle of the night. I don't know.
Just take a snapshot of it. No, just take a snapshot of what you need. You can't. I'm not going to give you my phone unless you walk away with my phone.
I'm not going over the phone.
You can just view it right here.
Okay,
See you,
well, I'm
Melly.
going to
Have a
walk
good
to the
day.
back of your car, and I'm going to view it, all right?
No, you can just take a snapshot. I'm not going to give you my
I
phone.
need to see...
If I'm going to give you my phone, I'm going to have you call your supervisor first.
Why do you need to call me?
Because I don't want you walking away with my property.
Sir, I'm not going to steal your phone. I need to...
I don't know you like that.
Okay, understandable, but I need to see...
Okay, I'll be perfectly honest. I do see both sides of this particular one. However, you're the moron for having your insurance on your phone, frankly, if you genuinely consider it. I'm not saying people shouldn't have their insurance on their phone. I'm sure plenty of people do it. I'm saying in this particular instance, if he has an issue with handing his phone over to a police officer to show his insurance, he should be carrying a paper copy of it, because he's the one that specifically has the issue with that. No, you absolutely should never hand your unlocked phone over. Print the insurance card, exactly. Yeah, nah. This is not going to end well.
I'm sure. You can see it right here. Okay, give me your phone. Now, you can take a snapshot.
Okay,
I'm not giving you my
I'm going to look for it right here. Give me your phone.
If you're paranoid about handing your phone to a police officer, it's probably not a good idea to keep your insurance details on it.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Call your supervisor if you want me to hand you your phone.
I'm about to view your proof of insurance right here. I'm not going anywhere with your phone.
Same thing again. If you want to hold my phone, you're gonna need to call your supervisor.
Okay. How about this? Step up a bit.
No.
Step up a bit. You're giving me a hard time right now. All right. We're not going to get broken.
Yeah, because rolling your window up on a cop always works out so well. This guy is supposed to be a
That's fair.
substitute elementary school teacher, by the way. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Hey, Brian.
Roll down your window. No. Roll down your window. Okay, roll down your window.
What the hell was that?
If you don't roll down your window, I'm gonna forcibly remove you out the vehicle. So I'm gonna ask you again. Roll down your window. Roll down your window. Roll down your window. Roll down your window. I'm gonna forcibly remove you out the vehicle. If you don't roll down the window.
At this point, he's just being a dick. The cop has already given him a lawful requirement to exit the vehicle. To be honest, I'm a little unsure why the cop is saying to him roll down the window when he'd already ordered him out of the car. So I'd be saying follow that instruction, like continually repeat that. I told you to get out of the car. Get out of the vehicle. Because now you're sort of giving conflicting instructions, but at the same time, yeah, no.
Well, I'm gonna forcibly remove you out the vehicle. Do you understand?
Yeah, he's going to live to regret demanding
Hopefully the
this
doggo will be back on
supervisor.
stream
Mark
sometime
my
next week.
words.
I've really got to clean the office.
Roll down your window.
I haven't done shit in the last week for obvious reasons.
I was asking proof of insurance. He gave me his phone and he took it back to I want you to go anywhere with my phone. Okay, I'll view right here. And then he rolled up the window.
What's a beautiful sight?
So I saw him back there and couldn't do it. I was about to stop him, but he pulled out.
Hey, sir. Hey, sir.
Okay, now he's just being a child.
Sir. It's a different officer. Can you lower your window for me, please? You sleeping back there, son?
Yes, I don't know who he's. I just saw him back there. I went to pull him over and
Can't see me, can't get mad. If I can't see you, you don't exist.
It's a different officer. Can you lower your window down for me, please?
So he ignores the backup officer because he's an overgrown man-child.
Mhm.
It's only when the supervisor, in the shape of a no-nonsense sergeant, arrives on the scene does he start to cooperate. But not enough to get out of the vehicle.
Definitely
So the window
agree.
bust is still on.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to supervise because I tried to show this guy my identification card.
Okay. What you showing? First and foremost, did he give you a lawful order?
We're getting there.
I don't know what a lawful order is.
Did he tell you?
Identification.
Did he tell you to get out of the car?
Yeah, but that's not.
Did he tell you?
You know you've got a no-nonsense supervisor when he arrives and immediately
cool.
backs up his...
I will absolutely say this, yeah, and for Vambellion, it's always cool that when they do these videos and they don't give out strikes when you review the videos, which is always great as well. So yes, absolutely give them a like and a sub, which does remind me, I already did, okay.
His officers by reminding the driver of the lawful orders he was given to step out of the vehicle, of which there were numerous. RIP to this guy's car window in about a minute from now.
What's your name, sir?
Spoilers.
Mr. Water? Waters. All right, listen, so I've been doing the shop 15 years and you see like the last 6, all right? I'm gonna tell you
Insects? What?
All right, but I'm going to tell you because you seem to not understand. If an officer, sir, if an officer tells you to get out of the car, you are required. No, you are required to get out of the car, sir. If you step out,
Oh, no shit.
Step out, you won't be under arrest.
Nicola, you're going to give
Don't step
Burberry's
out
a run for her money in terms of helpful people.
Yeah, nah, he's far too arrogant and misinformed to take option A, step out of the vehicle, get a ticket, and carry on as you were. So option B it is then, which leads to one of the best planned window breaks I've seen this year. It's almost as if these two cops have been practicing for this day.
They probably have.
Step out of the vehicle now.
Excuse me, I'm getting out the vehicle and being recorded.
Step out of the vehicle, do it now. Step out of the vehicle, do it now. Stop reaching around. Stop reaching around. Do it now. Do not move. Get up.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Give me this. It's all good. It's all good. Give me that. Not resisted.
Oh, damn it. I need to do the, Wim, don't use the barrel roll. It doesn't work on this camera for some reason. I'm trying to sort it out. We still need to do the bingo for the damn arrest videos. How long do we reckon before we hear the magic words, do you reckon? And if you don't know what the magic words are, you're a little too innocent for this video.
Got him.
And here's the window break in slow motion so you can really appreciate the technique. One officer uses some kind of knife to fragment the glass in the corner. The second officer finishes the job by using one of those standard window break tools. That window had no chance of surviving.
There you go. There, you can get up there.
Music.
I got him. Let him go.
Look at my message from Kay.
That's all.
Oh.
Not a problem. So we keep a little bit more.
There's nothing in there, but
I don't know why you had to go this route, man.
yeah, we're steady long.
I study law, says the guy who can't even do DoorDash without getting arrested. What a plum.
I also told you got a
I don't
I
care
would
about
reply
that.
to.
That's all good. We'll deal with this info. Thank you, Supervisor. We'll do it in front, bro. Okay. Gotta put some shoes on.
Is this your phone?
Yes, thank you. Put it in my pocket if you can.
We'll handle the rest.
I'll turn it off. Or
turn
some
off?
battery
Holy
there.
crap, Caleb, you need a streamer badge.
You help me get that shoe on right there, bro?
Don't like not already done that, sorry. Oh, he's absolutely a dumbass. Seriously, for those of you that have heard this story, this is why you don't. I've said it multiple times. The stupidest thing you can do is be a law student and get uppity about it, because the most dangerous thing is that you don't know what you don't know, because there's a whole wide range of shit out there that you have no idea about, and this guy clearly thought that he knew everything, and no, clearly not. Other magic words. How many gerbils does he have inside his pants?
Just swing your feet around.
He's gone remarkably quietly. I'll be honest.
I also told you got a
I don't
I
care
would
about
reply
that.
to.
That's all good. We'll deal with this info. Thank you, Supervisor. We'll do it in front, bro. Okay. Gotta put some shoes on.
See what in the house?
Is this your phone?
Yes, thank you. Put it in my pocket if you can.
We'll handle the rest.
I'll turn it off. Or
turn
some
off?
battery right here.
You want me to turn off?
Yeah. You help me get that shoe on right there, bro?
I will admit I second this. Every time I see it, I keep thinking it's him. Oh wait, no, you changed it. Never mind.
Just swing your feet around. Tape up that window. Put that foot over foot.
So apparently he sustained an abrasion to his head while refusing to comply. This was treated by EMS when he got to the police station. I'm telling you this
I'm not
because
complaining.
it could explain his next question to this officer.
I asked you to provide me with your insurance.
Whoa. Oh, that's the cop saying it. I thought for a second there the cop was saying, I don't care what you asked, which I don't kind of want that. He was probably hoping for a lawsuit. Look, likely, he was probably hoping to cut his teeth on some shit like that, but it was never going to end well.
Okay. Hey, supervisor.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? That window needs to get rolled up, man.
Which one?
My driver window that was broken.
Oh, it can't be rolled up.
It's
Yeah,
in
now
a
it can't be
thousand
rolled up
pieces.
'cause you guys broke
So why would you ask me to roll up a window that can't be rolled up?
it. My car needs to be turned off, man.
Yeah, well,
I do DoorDash, bro. You messing up my way of living.
okay, well, you could have
I'm
stepped
a
out. like we-
chauffeur driver as
Okay,
well.
all right,
And I'm a substitute teacher, dude.
okay. All right, you're good. Just have them meet you at Carolina.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Well, you're being non-compliant.
Not compliant by getting me my.
And then you rolled up the window.
Yeah, I don't have to roll my window.
Yes, you do.
There's no law that says that.
You have to at least crack it.
You said what?
You have to at least crack your window.
I did.
Yeah, and when I asked you to step out of the vehicle,
And you don't have to ask me to step out.
yes, I do.
Yeah, look,
Yes,
you can
I have
email
that.
it to them, but
Yes, I do.
absolutely,
I can-
just carry a...
Okay. Well,
If you have an issue handing over your phone, which, to be frank, everyone should have an issue handing over an unlocked phone to a cop, print the damn insurance. Just keep it in your car.
no, lawfully, okay.
I guess they don't teach Pennsylvania versus Bims in YouTube law school. If they did, you would know that this Supreme Court ruling from 1977 ruled that a police officer can order the driver out of a lawfully stopped vehicle and conduct a pat-down search if they reasonably suspect a threat to their safety.
Yeah, and for God's sakes, never just randomly when you're sitting at a police station, plug it into a computer that's got a cord sitting there. I still can't believe that kid was stupid enough. For those of you that don't know, the video that I'm talking about, an idiot gets arrested, taken into a police station, and he's just sitting in the interrogation room. And I don't know, he realizes that his phone's dying or whatever, and he sees a cable and decides to plug it in. My understanding is that computer, the purpose of that computer was to clone phones or some shit like that. Like, just stupid. Honestly, just stupid.
What a shame.
EMS is going to check you out. Understandable, but it never got to that point if you just stepped up the vehicle.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. If I can find it.
4 EMS also arrived there waiting for you.
Copy, thank you.
I wish I was joking about this, but even I do that when I travel to America. I've done it twice now. On the... There's Peanut. When I traveled the first time to America, I was planning on bringing a completely clean phone with me, but I realized I'd still be working while I was there, so I needed access to all my work stuff. But no, absolutely, turn the biometrics off. Just don't. Like, paper insurance with policy updates on my phone. Good, glad to hear it. It's slightly different here in that our third-party insurance is included with our registration anyway. So, provided your tags are active... Whoop. Can I stream 5 hours? Probably not. A, because I've got to get up and take my daughter to her Santa photos tomorrow. and B, then I still want to be awake and coherent for the Multi Christmas. So, which is over on Nick Starrow's channel. Make sure that you go and hit the notification and whatnot so that you can be there for it. Try Elite VR. Yeah. Where are we? All this kid had to do was fart. Yeah, sorry about that. You got done by the timer there. Actually, I got to work out how that fuels. Sorry, how that cues. You're always welcome here in the good old US of A. I think I might actually have to. Grift. Yeah, thank you to everyone that sent super chats tonight. It's always very much appreciated, and feel free to hit that like button. It costs you nothing, and it very much will make things easier for me as well. Because I mean, hell, I'd been stuck at 31,000 whatever for like 7 months, so it is very bittersweet to finally be over the 32,000 mark. I thought it'd be ages, but you know, maybe we can maintain some of that momentum. You know. Made my mum take the biometrics off her phone. Good. Never have biometrics, unlock your phone anyway, make it a passcode. How to make the animals jump again? Exclamation mark jump. You coherent. Yeah, fair thing. One of the things I used to hear when I was younger was to keep your phone locked and have your ID as your lock screen background. That's clever. Interesting.
Grab that.
Need a griftathon for Hayden. Shut up, MG. The trouble is, you might only have 10k subs, but in terms of views on what do you call it? In terms of views on videos, you don't go. You can't complain. Nah. All right. Thank you, Benjamin Lewis. Appreciate it.
Aylin said, "Good morning. I have nothing clever to say, so you'll have to just enjoy basking in my presence. You're welcome, I guess."
Thank you, Aylin. Okay, and when I get a little bit more technically adept, I'll make it so that things queue up and the super chats don't override the other things. Oops, sorry.
Okay, we'll deal with all that later. Look, right now we gotta process you, all right? Just let me try to fix it. Okay.
What's your what's your badge number? You'll get that when you get your summons.
You'll get that when you get your summons.
Just don't
Good
start
answer.
floating, Island.
No, great answer.
I don't want to give you a badge. You feel personal. You feel like some emotion. It's just business, man. Absolutely. You don't feel like you understand that. You don't understand that. You want to withdraw from there, so for some reason you don't want to tell me what your badge number is for some reason. Feel like some kind of something inside. He's feeling like he's got something to protect.
Look, depending on when I hit the 35k mark, there'll obviously be a 24-hour stream. I don't know that I'd be able to push it to 35 hours, but I'm overdue. I actually really enjoy doing the 24-hour streams, but yeah, that's probably, I think that was when I had planned the next one, was when I got to that stage.
We'll get to that point. I wonder what that's all about. Maybe because you infringe upon my rights today. No, sir. My constitutional God-given rights.
Sorry to break this to you, but there is no such thing as a constitutional God-given right to refuse lawful orders.
Yeah, that ain't how it works.
I will, bro. Don't worry about it. I do myself a favor and have a seat. Because I'm a working man too, bro. I got 3 jobs.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that. Thank you, Stingy, for reminding me. Only trouble is that I was going to do it on the 28th my time, which is the 27th, which is when we're looking at doing the memorial stream. So I may have to shift the day, but for those of you that aren't aware, I was planning on doing like a bit of a open mic stream. Stingy in particular wanted to come in and spend time and say hi and do various other things, but that'll probably have to be towards the end of the year now. But yeah, we'll see exactly where we get to with that, because yeah, timing's going to be
with your children.
I respect a man
Probably
who
28th
works
to the
3
29th.
jobs
We'll see what
to
happens.
provide for his family. I really do. But this cop is not the one who escalated a minor traffic violation into a circus. You did that by misinterpreting your rights and playing the victim. So, you know, look in the mirror before you start passing blame around.
You got children?
I know, right?
Trust every reporter? What are they on? We don't tell you that you trust it today. Okay, like this is something that we should be aware of.
So I'll keep it real with you a little bit further. So I'm a crisis negotiator in Atlanta County, right? So when I saw you, I don't know what's going on in your mind. Maybe you're going to make a mental breakdown, or maybe you're in some type of crisis. I don't know, right? So that's why I try to let you know, like, sir, I'm here. When it's another officer, I want to get your attention. I'm trying to make eye contact with you. You just want to give me that eye contact, you know? I just want to talk
I know,
to you,
right?
you know? But obviously things led to...
Okay, there you go, Wim. I've changed it so that ads are manual, okay? So hopefully you won't have to keep using the fart and complaining about it. Otherwise, I'm just going to insert the ads myself and piss you off myself.
Another, but I didn't really want to speak to you because...
Fucking making my job more difficult.
People, you know, I really do.
Yeah, you did everything you could to prevent this arrest. This is all on him. He's a professional victim asserting rights he doesn't have.
Yeah, probably.
Like, bro, you wanna go down, I'll break it.
Actually, you know what? I'll probably have a New Year's party if I can.
Told that before in my life.
I understand, but I can only...
So I don't know how to react to that. So when you saw me, that's probably what you saw. You didn't see me getting angry or upset or anything. I was angry or upset right now.
Absolutely not.
And did I sound angry or upset when I was speaking? My voice wasn't raised or anything like that.
I know, right?
See, when I say I study the law, it's actually what I do. And when you study the law, you have to change your mindset. You don't have to be on the defense and argue all the time like that. You have to be a source and be able to provide information. The best thing I could have done at that point was when I was being threatened like that, is to call for a supervisor. That's why I dialed 911. Yeah, I didn't have the supervisor.
I got you, I understand.
Usually it's like
Stookie, generally what I'll do is I'll go for like 2 or 3 hours and we cover the Melbourne, the Sydney, Brisbane. I think last year we did Perth as well. Kind of slept there last year. You and I haven't talked yet. It was in a 58-day during that time. Oh, no shit. Okay. Whoa, Cherry Reed.
Cherry Reed said sending some love to hearts.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I hugely appreciate that. So just for those of you that from the Vice Squad that may not have been here previously as well, just so you're aware, I didn't steal dog cam, okay? Because I don't want anyone thinking that. It was actually Jeff that convinced me to do Labracadabrador cam. And my dog Angel, although she's ordinarily when we get to $50 in super chats, I would turn it on. Right now she's sort of out in the lounge room because she's got some pretty bad osteoarthritis in her back legs and that sort of thing. I'm hoping relatively soon I'll be able to bring her back. So, but thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciate it. Holy crap. Someone stealing is reappropriating. I just don't want people to think that I started doing it after he passed, because I didn't.
Make sure you write down your
God damn it. You know what? Okay. No. There's 2 minutes left in this video. I will get through this and then we'll have a bit of a chat, okay?
It was cool for a little bit, and now you're acting up.
Huh?
So what happened?
My rights.
You're about to leave, and now you're acting up.
Because you keep trying to infringe upon my rights.
This is to get your car back. That's all it is.
No, my right is my car.
Of course, the guy who effortlessly turned a minor traffic violation into a busted car window and arrest thinks owning a car is a right. Now,
I've
why
really gotta
doesn't
fix
that
that barrel.
surprise me? Kind of tells you everything you need to know about where he gets his information from. Anyway, after his paperwork was completed, which according to Patrol Stories TV included charges for obstruction and resisting arrest, he was released from custody. But he loved being there that much that he came back a few hours later to inquire why the impound lot wasn't open for him to collect his car at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Oh,
because
for frick's
of course
sake.
he did. Right, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed
It's
the video,
Master Chef, not Master Bait.
All right, so... Oh, no, I'm going to use the... Damn it, I'm going to use the Zoom camera. Where the hell it is there. Flux, I'm sorry, I'm not going to intrude on our private conversations or anything. I want to make that absolutely clear. I need to say something that I said to you this morning, and I think it's probably important the chat hears it. I mentioned it in the mods chat earlier today as well, or yesterday, depending on your time frame. What I want people to understand is, and I'm sorry that I keep apologizing for various things, but aside from just losing Jeff this week, you need to understand that there's a number of things for me that have compounded on this that may not make a lot of sense to people, but it's just added to my sense of confusion and feeling of what's the word when you're lost? I'm sorry, I keep apologizing. Yeah. Guys, what you need to understand is that I'm still young enough that aside from losing my grandfather last year, Jeff's the first person that I've been extremely close to that I've lost. So I don't know where the boundaries are. I've never dealt with this kind of loss before. And unfortunately, I'm learning about it in a very public way. And I've specifically said that in the mod chat, and I know that Connor's seen it and that sort of thing, because really, he's really the main one that I give a shit about. Everyone else, if they have an issue with anything I say or do, they can go and get fucked, frankly. But that's really what it boils down to. So if I unintentionally piss somebody off or whatever else, you know, it is what it is. Okay, between coming to terms with the fact that as I said to Danny, I don't know if there is a heaven or a hell, or if it's literally just one's consciousness is snuffed out, in which case, holy crap, is he really gone? Shit, I'm gonna get myself worked up again. What I'm trying to say is, like I said, I don't know where the boundaries are. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm being inappropriate when I'm trying to do everything I can do to keep him alive, in a sense. Safe harbor. So, because I look, I've been kicking around in various discords and that sort of thing, and I've seen some people that have been pissed off. Not just, I mean, no one's mentioned me specifically, but I've seen people pissed off at other content creators at the way that people have been handling things about whatever else. And I just want people to know that if I do something or say something that you feel is inappropriate or anything like that, I'm not doing it purposely to piss anybody off. I'm not doing anything to profit off of it. I'm not doing anything to... I miss my friend. And I'm still just trying to come to terms with that. So I just don't want people thinking that I'm trying to, fill his shoes or take over or profit, or I think someone through the term, dragging his... God, I'm glad I stopped myself from saying that. Maybe I should speak with a grief counselor. I have thought about that. I think it might be appropriate. So, no, I know that a lot of you know how close we were. I think that frankly, there's a lot of people that don't know, and that either didn't know or didn't care or tried to insert themselves into the situation or whatever else. And as it sounds, as I said to Flux this morning, both she and I can tell the people that were genuinely close to him, because there's a very stark flag that both of us see almost immediately that tells us that someone didn't know him as well as they claim to. And I'm not throwing shade at anyone. I'm not saying anything. I'm just, you do you and say what you need to, hun. Screw them. He was your friend. Hugs from the UK. Thank you. The thing with grief is it's temporary. God, I hope so. So. I grieve more for Jeff than my own dad. He was a son of a bitch. Love you too, Flux. That's their issue. You know your relationship, each person. Yeah. And look, I didn't... Being 100% when I say...
Alan said I'm being 100% when I say $$ hash those haters.
Cheers. Sorry, I started reading that one out because for some reason the robot doesn't always read the blue ones. I don't know why. Just popping in to help with the algorithm. We're all hurting, we're all grieving our own way. Thank you, Becky. I'd like to talk to you privately. I think I can help tell you a few things. Okay, thank you. No, oh God, no. It wasn't Andrew. Andrew and I were messaging, and like I said, I'm not trying to throw any shade, okay? I'm not even talking about people in LawTube, all right? Just, I'm not trying to cause drama as well, for fuck's sake. If anyone thinks that, then no, okay? Just no. What I'm trying to say is that... Fuck, now I'm gonna have to work. Now I'm gonna be stressing about that. That I've gone on pit. Oh, fuck. No, it definitely wasn't you, MJ. Understand that you value your integrity and the loss is an aggravating factor. Thank you. ADHD kicked in. Yeah, pretty much. Vice Squad rocks. Aussie Vice is sending you all love and hugs. You and Vice had a really similar show, almost identical. That's why I loved your show and his. Oh, thank you. No, and I need to be very clear as well, MG. I'm not in any way trying to diss anyone. Okay,
Sherry Reed said you do what you need to. You are not taking anything from Jeff, you are honoring him. Keep honoring him. Vice Squad loves it and Jeff would too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I mean, I'm more than happy to adopt as much of the Vice Squad as wants to be here. I know my content isn't... Whilst the shows are similar, I'm fully aware that it's not identical, but hopefully. And I'm assuming that for some reason the bot didn't get to that one. So don't have to apologize. We love you. You're doing the best you can to honor him. Grief has no rule book. Get back here. Unfortunately, I lost my dad at 23. He was 55 and passed of a heart attack. You'll go through... Oh, God, I'm sorry to hear that, Katie. Thank you for the super chat. Vice Squad's the best squad, exactly. Do you just mean random commenters? Yeah. If so, they're just sniping from the sidelines. You, Jeff, and other LawTubers hung out IRL for all to see. You looked past self-doubt. Okay, those of you that have been here a long time will know that I am my own worst enemy when it comes to self-deprecation and all that sort of stuff. So you wear your emotions on your shoulder, and that's what makes you feel like a legit mate. Maybe some didn't know you two regularly stream together for the ball. No, well, I think there were quite a few people who didn't realize that Jeff and I would just
Sushi Sue sent a super sticker.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Just sit and bitch and moan and like you know what the stupidest thing was today? I realized I'm never going to know whether or not his boss winds up firing the dickhead there was someone in his firm that he really didn't like. And he was hoping that this year would be the year that he either wouldn't get the bonus or that he'd get canned. And now I'm never going to know. And that's going to annoy me more than the bloody TV show from my childhood that I couldn't remember. I'm worrying too much. That's just who I am. I'm a big ball of nerves and neurotics. I don't know what the frick the word for that is. Up there on the list where Jeff was for me, Know that I love you as much as I love Jeff. Oh, thank you. I was trying not to be too specific just in case, but yes. Neuroses, thank you. I think take a breath and let it out. I think I think a lot will be coming out over. I'm going to dish out various things over the next however long it takes. And like I said to Flux this morning, she's probably going to be the one that winds up getting my random conversation topics, or you know, maybe one of them. Maybe I'll start posting them in the mod chat or whatnot. But like, we would just have the most random conversations. We would just sit and drink a beer and watch and just talk. And like, half the time when we didn't do a titty ball stream, we did titty ball. We just didn't stream it. I'm sorry. I know that that's wrong for the fans, but sometimes we just wanted to be two blokes sitting and enjoying spending time together. And like the random conversations, the random topics, the one that stuck out in my mind, and I mentioned this to Flux in the mod chat this morning, was we never actually finished our conversation about whether or not the dragon from Shrek is a German Shepherd or not. We both agree that she was African American for obvious reasons. But was Donkey henpecked, and would she be classed as a German Shepherd, given that, you know, I maintain that she probably was. But, you know, we just had random conversations like that, and like, there's a discussion for Drex. Bring him on and find out. Oh, God. Could you imagine? You love it when chat. Look, I know that you like you enjoy trolling every now and then and that sort of stuff, but right now I don't care. Like I don't know if you're being sarcastic or legit or whatever, but Dragon of Color, please. See, I stopped myself from saying the color, okay? Because she was purple. That's one heck of a discussion. It really was. It's got to be when you take multiple, like when you have multiple instances of having the same discussion over and over again.
Dina said, please all stay with us. I adore you. He loved your daughter. God, I miss him.
I'm not going anywhere. I promise you that. Do I think that I'll have him to hold me back when I want to do something stupid if I'm feeling a little self-destructive? As I said this morning, no, probably not. But I will do my absolute utmost to stay here. The schedule will be interesting. Starting on January 14, I'm doing I'll be doing 4 hours of driving a day. I may have to sort something else out in terms of stream time and that sort of thing. I think if I start sleeping beforehand, get up, do the stream, go back to bed, I should be okay. Like, it's broken sleep, but it's still better than it otherwise would be. Otherwise, I'm thinking maybe I might have to start staying overnight or whatever else. I'll work it out. Point is, I'll be here, people, as often and as much as I can be. She couldn't complain about how draconic men treated her. Don't claim to know the diff or deets of people's kinships. The thing is not to stress or work yourself up. You're different. Focus on whatever you need to do. At a lot of loss, just take your time. Cheers. I thought the donkey dragons are the best. Used to message him around 4 a.m. my time. Now I wake up and cry. It's not stupid. It is not stupid because, look, up until about 10 minutes ago, I made it through the day without actually breaking down, which was the first time in a little while. That's why I realized that for me, it's around between 3 and 5 in the afternoon, because that's when, now that Nick's not streaming, you know, there's that little bit of a void in the time block period of the late night, but for us, it's in the middle of our day. So that's when we'd be really texting backwards and forwards and keeping each other entertained and that sort of thing. And I'd ask him, you know, what's going on in the office, all that sort of shit. And just, yeah. So no, I get it, because for me, it gets to that time of the day, and I noticed myself over the last couple of days instinctively reaching my phone to check for messages. Been here for ages, but Vice Squad immigrants are making Jeff happy. Random is fine, doesn't have to have a meaning of life all the time. True. The dragon was a dash hound. She wishes. I think the dragon was a pug. Okay, look. We have to be very clear. When I said German Shepherd, we're not talking about the actual breed of dog. I'm sure that you're taking the piss, okay? He mentored you and encouraged you to be yourself and authentic. Loved getting to know the real you at that time. Vice Squad knows your intentions are positive and we care about you. Thank you. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for those. Donkey was a dragon layer. Yep. Don't adopt Jeff's no sleep habits. No, and I will take my blood pressure medication because I will do what I told him to do and he ignored, and what I ignored him when he told me to do it, so it'll be fine. I'll be a good boy, I promise, Flux. Wait, what was that one that popped up? Also didn't like Robert Kelly, the viral BBC interview guy whose kid walks in, kept asking who he was even though he's been in Jeff's house. Wait, what? Okay, I might just not be thinking straight, but well, damn. What are your plans for Christmas Day? So for Australian Christmas Day, there won't. I might try and pre-record something. We'll see what happens there. In terms of I mean, Boxing Day generally, I mean, I'm not a big cricket fan, but the wife loves the cricket, so she'll probably be watching the Boxing Day test. I'll probably try and be here as much as possible for the US and UK Christmas Day, just in case people, you know.
Stingy number one Aussie friend said sent something. All I hear is Jeff's voice.
All right, I'll have a look in a minute. Thank you. Loved seeing that you were live this early because I miss seeing that red dot next to Jeff's picture when I wake up. Yeah. Suffered a lot of loss in my 58 years on Earth. Parents, brothers, best friends. You never stop grieving. It just shifts the pain lessons, but it's still there. If there's one thing we can all take from this, we have to take care of ourselves and our health. Not sure what was about. I guess just in the past we've had differing opinions on various things. I suppose that was wrong of me to assume. I'm sorry. Never assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. Wanted to quit watching YouTube, unsub from everyone and went to Spotify. Well, I'm very happy that you're back here, bye friends. Have a hard time when it's quiet. I can't not bring myself to watch any of his streams yet. Oh, I cannot bring myself. I cry when I hear his voice. Yeah. Have any business connections in Australia? If you ever need anything, like I said, my team's at your disposal. Researchers, editors, myself, business travel, you name it. Holy crap. That's extraordinarily that's a thank you. Us Aussies, we're strange, and yes, I'll miss him filling in my late nights. What's your number? I'll message you. Keep it up, Aussie. Vice Chat needs a new home. You're keeping Jeff alive. Fingers crossed. My alarm would go off and Jeff's stream would start. Now the void's so large it hurts. I get that. The Vice Squad pigeons come south for the winter. Been walking around like a zombie, just totally off balance and unanchored this week, crying a lot. I get that. What do you and the family eat for Christmas? So I cook a ham. This year I got one of the pre-deboned ones because frankly I didn't want to just pay for the bone because Woolworths and Coles haven't been too great, and the local butcher I wasn't terribly pleased with their selection this year. So I'm going to do like an orange glaze with cloves ham. The wife will probably cook up some turkey, and we might do some roast chicken just because Scarlett's a very fussy eater and won't eat either of those things. So, get Drex to help with the bottom of the Dragon Saga. Get to the bottom of the Dragon Saga. Yeah, my daughter's adorable. Yeah, and hopefully she'll be able. Look, her being able to be on stream is very up in the air at the moment, thanks to the passing of that bill. I don't know. I know that she's not allowed to have her own social media account. I don't know if it bars her from being a content creator or not. Sorry, Fiery. I'll put the menu up for you in a minute. Pay for the bone, giggity. That's what she said. Oh shit, I've done it again and I'm getting behind in chat again. Do I watch the sprint cars? Personally, I don't. But that was the other thing. Like, I had next to no interest in F1, but I was happy to sit and watch it and chat with him. Still waking up and checking for live notifications. Yeah. At this rate, I'll be spending the day in the pool. The heat wave's coming back, apparently. Yeah, that's going to suck. Only quit interacting with the chat, Hayden. Had a concern and it's been solved. I'm aware of that concern and I'm pretty sure I fixed that today for you. Dinner for Christmas Day for us is pork roast cooked in pineapple and brown sugar, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing and broccoli. Awesome. Is there a way to get the chat emojis as stickers or magnets to buy or put them on a t-shirt? Probably something, for those of you in the mod chat, that's probably something to discuss amongst yourselves. I mean, I'd be happy to organize that through a store or whatever, but obviously I don't want anyone thinking I'm profiting off of that. So maybe even if we set up a separate one or something, might be the possibility. Essentially the video, he had a big rant once about how this guy had been in his house multiple times and he would still run into him and ask who he was. And he would reply, "You were just at my house." Isn't it your job as a parent to say they're too bad? Yes. But she's a daddy's girl and she's got me wrapped around a little finger, okay? And at Christmas, it's a little different. I wonder if YouTube Kids will be changed for the new law. My understanding is that they're supposed to be excluding YouTube Kids in terms of allowing kids to watch content. I'm pretty sure like most of the under 16 channels will have to be geo-blocked, but we'll see. Love the sprint cars. They should be starting up soon. Love the good drivers from the US going for the season. Fair enough. Emojis are in the mod Discord. I'm sure you could use them. I wouldn't have any sort of an issue with that. I just, like I said, I don't want people thinking that sticker on a shirt. Bought some Lorax merch as soon as someone mentioned it in his store. I'm an idiot. No, look, guys, bad as it sounds, I did the exact same thing. As soon as someone reminded me, I went and bought some stuff. But you know what the amazing thing was? I clicked on the various items and a pop-up notification said these items are in hot demand. So we don't know about the shipping and processing times. That hit me right here, and that, well, you can't see it because I'm zoomed, but that hit me right in the heart, and I was like, that's great. So many people want to remember him with the merch and that sort of thing.
Rummy Nan of 2 said just because XX.
Oh, thank you. Thought it was kind of cool. The bourbon I opened to celebrate Jeff's 100K happened to be an Alfa Romeo F1 team edition of Whistle Pig. Wish I could have chatted with him about it. I'll be honest. Like I said, I think I've said this more than once. that's one of the unfinished things that I have with him, is that he's never going to know that ginger beer that he was talking about. It's amazing. And I would never have tried it if he hadn't suggested it to me. And it's from fucking Australia. Might be a while, but it might be an idea for Connor if and when he can get control of the channel. Yeah. Gonna have to find a way to buy merch kind of hard this time of year. This is true. Oh, damn it. The API's busted. Already been some streams that are more grift than grief. He's your friend. You should be able to make what you want. Went out and got merch. Good. Got myself a hoodie and a mug. It'll sit on my desk with me all day. I got the hoodie. So you can see it behind me, the black picture. I'm going to replace that one with one of the Lorax posters, so he's basically looking over my shoulder the entire time. But I got one of the Lorax cups that I'm going to keep and basically not use and make sure that, because that's something that I don't really want to like wear out or anything like that. I wish he'd listened to me and did the Lorax shot glasses. I'm thinking about getting one done up, just so that I don't know how he missed that. Like, I know that there's the mug that says on the back, oh, this is a wine glass. But actually thinking about it, I'm not sure if Teespring allows you to do shot glasses. But I know that there's companies where I can get one made up anyway. So. We know you're not trying to profit of it. Don't know caps if caps are against the rules. No, look, if it's something specifically that you want to get my attention with, tag me's fine. I just ask that you don't spam caps. Okay. There are 2 people in chat that are allowed to, just simply because they've got bad eyesight. Was it Bundaberg? No, it was Matzo. Had a story, maritime and drink related, I meant to share with him for ages. So annoyed I didn't know. Well, Leafy, I'm going to be building the endurance for him. If nothing else, I'll have a couple of his maritime streams on repeat in the background. If there's any stories that you feel like you didn't get the opportunity to have shared, people just email me. Okay. I know I can't replace him. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to give you guys closure. Okay. If there is a story that you think he would have enjoyed, email it to me at AussieOverlaw'd@gmail.com and I will do my best to at least cover it. Okay. Jeff's son needs to start selling merch. Jeff would want him to make the stickers and merch and make bank. Yep. As soon as I thought ginger beer, I bet it's Oz branded. It really was. Yeah. Well, see, that's just it. The Bundaberg ginger beer is what I use, and that. I wanted to know so badly what improvements he made to the cocktail, because the one that I got addicted to basically at Matsuri, okay? He's the one that worked out. I gave him the ingredients of what I knew was in the drink, and he gave me the proper proportions, how to put it together and all that sort of stuff, and following his instructions, I got it right. He had never actually tried one until he made one like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, damn, I can make some changes to this. I can make some improvements to this. And goddamn if I don't want to know what was going through his head. I want to know what changes he was thinking. So, but yeah, no, I was using the Bundaberg Spice ginger beer for Christmas in the cocktails I'd been having. Lorax whiskey glass would have been awesome. True. Has some ultraviolet DTF stickers made up with the Lorax and put those on shot glasses. New Zealand independent gaming developers. No shit. Cool. Ginger beer sounds sus. I don't drink beer in general. Well, I mean, this was the first time that I'd need a titty glass like Jeff's. I'm not used to having alcoholic ginger beer. So that, and like, I opened it, I tasted it, and it was dangerous. Can you imagine finding out your dad was a guy on YouTube that you were loved by thousands of people around the world? Amazing. Yep. Excuse me. Something that just showed up in my feed. LA deputy mayor suspected in bomb threats. Damn. You know what is replacing? You're just the closest thing we have. I'm not even close. If I can take even a third of the lessons that he taught me to heart and go everyone talking about him because who else is going to talk about him? I'm just glad that you guys are willing to listen to me because I do that was part of the thing, is that I don't have local friends. I've never really had the time. I've never had. It's not really possible for me in my location, in my job that I'm doing, in all that sort of stuff. So having someone that I connected to that I was able to just sit and have a beer with made a hell of a difference. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that is willing to sit and listen to me just randomly talk, because I don't know where else I would. Otherwise, I'd just be bottling it all up. Laughed when I told him about the Pasha Bolker, and he said, "Why hasn't Lorne using laughed with Aussie Overlaw'd?" The end is near. D-Ward has a wrench. Well, I did say before, which reminds me, if there's anyone from the Vice Squad that was a mod or whatever else, for the love of God, please throw a hand up. So it's not just beer. It's not beer, just brewed soda. Have not tried the alcoholic one as of yet. I would suggest you do, Germany, because the Matzo one, at least, is it tastes very similar to Bundaberg, but it's like 3.7%. So if you go through a 6-pack of them, you're going to wind up on the floor. All right. Send me the name, I'll forget. Okay, we'll do. Don't drink gingers, already too few reds and Nicola Maxwell's. Just picked up the wine tumbler, so that'll be great when I get my mead started and finished. Lovely. Here's a question. Can I be adopted as a fake mod for life in your chat? Of course. Hell, you keep the dirty talk to yourself. I'll mod you for real. Do you have any details? Not as of yet. Great success. And I haven't wanted to ask. Thank you, Bruce. Sorry, I know I'm just reading through chat now. So some of it had me a little bit stunned. Well, a little better because Jeff let us into his life. Better because Hayden, you let us into yours. Grieving with you has been very comforting. Thank you for sharing. You've it sounds weird to say you're welcome for that. I'll be honest. Would you make merch available with a combination of you're fighting Kangaroo and Jeff's Lorax? Some of that already exists. We never got around to using it as content. There's we used to fire messages back and forth. Oh, what do you think about this? Like, we would just sit for an hour or so, both just like playing around with AI creations through Grok or through ChatGPT or Copilot, trying to create like thumbnails or just weird fucking things. I have several images of like tortoise cannons and catapults because we were going backwards and forwards trying to create the most realistic version of how the tortoises would still be able to climb the fence for the Hales case. And no matter what we did, we couldn't make it right. It was like Grok had no idea what a trebuchet was. Glad to see you feeling a bit better. Yeah, well, yeah, so am I, honestly. I think what I said to everyone this morning was I think I'm starting to dip my toe into the anger stage of grief because I was a little bit just mad at the world for moving on without him. And yeah, but no, yeah. Hubby loves the hard solo. I've got one of those in the fridge too. We'll see what happens. Year of Color. You're a mod for a Disney streamer? I'm not gonna lie. Fashionable, that makes me question. Do I need to be careful? Well, Dork, you only lost your wrench because you stopped streaming, dude. John wanted to be a Vices mod. Dude, I think you pretty well earned yours. Hang on. I give Dork back his one too. Shit. John, say something in chat, will you? Makes it easier if I don't have to scroll all the way back. Had a whiskey and pub in London on Wednesday when I was there for a concert. Cool. There we go. So do you get your wrench back? What do you think? Always thought I'd be a good Vices mod because I was always listening and hardly ever could be there to chat. Sorry, Doc, I might still be a bit far back in chat. What's wrong? I know, and that's... Like I said, he's the one that I really feel for. And he's really the only one that I've worried about pissing off or stepping on toes or overstepping boundaries and all that sort of shit. Everyone else can get nicked. Not... When I say get nicked, that's a turn of phrase. That's not, you know... But yeah, I really do hope he's okay. But everything that I've seen of him is he's a fantastic young man. He has his father's sense of humor, and he's got a fucking sharp wit. So Jeff literally said, I'll mod the next name that pops up in chat. I've never done anything modding in my life. For the most part, no one's supposed to, okay? The whole point about, what do you call it? Shit. What was I going to say? The whole point about being a mod is just deterrence, basically. I don't expect any of you to do anything. Just keep the peace, basically. How did I meet Jeff? You know, you asked me that earlier, and for the life of me, Because I've got so many damn stories, I cannot even think what the first time was. I'm going to have to go back and work that out myself. I think it may have been one of Nick's streams. Okay, I am that far back in chat now that the social stream is taking away my chats, and I have no idea what I'm... So even my OBS setup is telling me fucking move on. Night, Germany. How do you get Jeff's attention, either your name or super chats or saying stuff? Well, I mean, I remember the first time that I was on with Jeff, and the reason I remember that is because I got a message from Valhalla telling me to mute my mic because I'm a fucking animal eating chips. And that was before I realized that the tolerance on my mic was significantly higher than significantly lower, I should say, than I thought it was. I think I was eating Cheetos or Doritos or something, and like, I didn't realize that it was turning into food ASMR for everybody. I don't know. Lyrics for the AI songs were great too. Favorite was Suitcase of Love. We're gonna have to try and save all those as well. I didn't know the trebuchet is pronounced probably didn't know how trebuchet is pronounced in English. Quite possibly. Yeah, okay. I'm not 100% sure what the go was, Doc. Unless I'm...
DA Org said, damn, he went and done it again.
Went and did what again? Oh, gave you your wrench back. Yeah, there you go. Guess I'll get my wrench when I get my shirt. They shouldn't be far off, actually. CFI. LC mods literally everyone. Yeah, and I think that might be part of why he's so popular. When everyone has the power, no one has the power. We really need to be worried with Dork having one. Well, really hard to get Jeff's 5-minute timeout for saying something funny but inappropriate. Yeah, I know that you're pushing him to take over his dad's channel. Just what I would say is don't push too hard right at the second. If he wants to do it, it's something that he'll do. I think that if we want him to do it, we've got to coax him slowly, you know? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can lead a cow upstairs, but not down. We need to be careful with it because we don't want to turn him off the idea, you know? But I personally would love to see him take over it too. Quick on the draw, doesn't miss a beat, can almost finish what you're going to say before you say it's impressive. Yep. Can mods ban themselves? I don't know. Probably. Oh, actually, it might have been a Joe stream, you're right. Remember the chips? I think how you met him is how a lot of us did from Nick's Johnny Depp coverage. That's definitely where I first saw him, yeah. I'm just trying to remember when the first time we actually engaged with was. It was Farron, seems like one of those few guests that the trolls came out for. Oh. I'm not going to comment one way or another on that. Rarely even chat as Runkle's mod, but like I've said before, this week made me realize I need to start chatting more because the community really pulled us together this week. Yeah. I think it's important for everyone to know that we are a community, and as much as possible, we are all there for each other. Parasocial relationships be damned. Need to watch an LC stream again. He's so unhinged. I love it. He's been a little bit tamer the last little while, or at least the ones that I've been watching anyway. I'd mod, but I like having AP as the AP is awesome ticker in the outro credits. What, you think that I'd take that away? That's purely because you don't get your memberships. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to scare him away from it. That's sort of why I haven't said anything yet. You cannot ban yourself. Excellent, Flux. I'm glad to hear that. Make me late for work just like Jeff. Okay. All right, I will Vordire. I can't even say it like him. I was having flashbacks every time he pulled up one of my chats, making him laugh. That's great. Oh, what'd you say? That Megan just put something up. Hang on.
Yeah, we gotta get.
Jim P said here a cool lassie I found Friday night tights pop cultural at Shadiversity.
Okay, firstly, if Shadiversity's in the chat, hi. Love to collab at some stage once I'm actually able to get my hands on my sword license. But thank you very much for the super chat, GMP. I'm assuming you're saying you found a cool Aussie, but you enjoy Friday Night Tights. Fair enough. All right, just laughs is contagious. Of course it is. All right, where are we? Oh no, the Hartung trial.
Back to his closet. All right. See, anyone who knows anything about zombies, and I happen to be a zombie expert, will know that if one zombie starts making noises, it causes all of the other zombies in the area to start making the same noise. That's why, you hear the one zombie go, and then all the other zombies go, and they come out and they attack whoever's happened to be there. Watch the other zombie in the back of the courtroom here. We'll get us out of the way. See now, you just Hayden, can you do a zombie? Can you do a zombie noise here for our defendant? When we push play, you be the defendant, and then watch the other zombie here in the back. This guy back behind Agra from Dark Crystal. All right, go.
67.
See?
I couldn't get it in my throat. That's what she said.
Hey, phrasing.
It's a double snort. Agra is not amused.
Oh, why is the camera so bad like that? There we go. That was great. I do want to say thank you, especially to the mods and in particular Stingy and Berries who are combing through all the videos and previous streams and stuff for clips like that. That's it's saving me both some heartache and time, but it's also an incredible thing to be doing. As one depressed zombie, yeah.
Sorry, gotta get back to his closet.
I'm sorry, because now all I can hear in my head is, Hayden! Hayden! Yes, Jeff. How you doing? Oh, when was this on? That was the Donald Hartung trial when we was doing the rewatch of the witchcraft ritual trial. So, oh, sure you could find a place on Night's Watch even without a sword. I wouldn't know what to talk about. That's the problem. Looks like a gelfling. Smells like a gelfling. Maybe it is a gelfling. Does anyone have Give It a Whirl? That was hilarious. That'll be a soundbite that gets caught. I wouldn't be stressing about that. He did that with Megan too. Yep. It's how you knew he gave a shit. He genuinely cared about what was going on during our days, and Like, yeah. You're a koala, so there's a 50% chance you have syphilis. Yeah, it was a throwback Thursday. Won't post it anymore, but that was my disclaimer for the trial. It wouldn't worry me even if you did, okay? I mean, my robot's supposed to be posting my disclaimer, but for God's sakes, it's not doing that, so. Oh, alright. Holy crap, okay. Talk about how an Aussie program is currently popping up with Disney with Shadversity. Oh yeah, for those of you that don't know, Bluey's getting a movie with Disney. That's going to be a problem. I think Flux is our first resident artist, should design a simple Lorax tattoo for those inclined to memorialize him that way. I'm not going to lie, Jared, I'd considered getting the Enjoy Your Legal Vices right here. But I'm going to give it a few days. Because I'm terrified of needles. I'm just going to make sure I don't do anything stupid. Okay, I tell you what. I mean, given that that's in loving memorial of Peanut, if anyone wants to put together a green screen video of like me and Jeff just flying across the screen or whatever, I would love that because I suck at that kind of shit. Yeah.
Janet Burris said, I'm going to miss being his token witch for witchcraft trials.
Well, look, if any more witchcraft trials come up, I'd be more than happy to have you. Wait, what do you mean you're getting the RPF? Did Mrs. Flux agree? Way to tell me that via chat. That's okay, fair enough. Draw for a Bluey movie, it's just... I know, the API is broken. Don't know when it comes to Bluey, my kids are all in their 30s. Is it a Blue's Clues spin-off? No, Bluey is... So Bluey is a cattle dog that basically it's won Australia's kids show of the year like last 3 or 4 years running. It's a TV show made by a company up in Queensland, and it's just down to earth cartoons and parenting, and like it's old school cartoons, but it's drawn brilliantly, and it's just at some point we're just gonna have to have a like a watch party or something. I think. Super chat for Hayden to get the tattoo. I think the wife would kill me, but we'll see. Should read live while streaming with Flux. Sweet! Can't back out of it now. Wait, if she gets it, maybe I can avoid it. God, that sounds terrible. I hate needles. I really do. Just remember when Hayden says, just remember, you're not a piece of shit. Need to replace Peanut with Jeff and Hayden on that one. No, look, I'd like to do a separate one simply because I don't want to forget about Peanut, okay? That'd be a prime example of what I was worried about with Jeff, that the internet would move on and that, you know, not that I think that any of us that knew him or were good fans are ever going to forget him, mainly because by this time next week, I fully expect to have at least some of the stuff on the soundboard, so we're all going to at least remember. But yeah. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Bluey's for grown-ups too, in my opinion. Abso-friggin-lutely it is. Baby Race gets me every damn time. Cry like a baby. That's fair. On international awards, but some eps were banned in the US. Yeah, and I think that, like I said, I think that's probably why we should do a watch party at some stage, because I think that we have to introduce the US viewers to Dad Baby. Uncut Dad Baby, I should say. Uncut giggity. And there were a couple other ones that they completely either removed or they censored in various ways, shapes, or forms. It's one of the few modern cartoons that's actually good. Yep. I told someone they had a piece of shit the other day and almost did it in Aussie's accent. Just close your eyes and don't look at the needle. Make a new option like that with you and Jeff. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If we can put together an actual video like that, I would absolutely. Sleepy Time's the episode that gets you. That's fair. That's really fair. Just chew gum. Does that help? Really? That's all right, Stinge. I'm gonna play the video that KLF did, and then I'll probably save that one for tomorrow. Sending you a quick clip, Hayden, that reminds me of how he'd shout out to you guys. Damn it, Berries! I just told Fuck. Sorry. Sorry, I just got a message. Am I going to do LFL? I'll be perfectly honest. This week I've played that intro once to myself and I didn't make it through it. I think that LFL, at least through the Christmas period, maybe into January, is going to take a break, a breather, because I don't believe that I could do it myself. At least the first couple, I'll need to sort of tee up some guests and friends and that sort of thing. But I'm hoping that it'll make it back. Okay. When Scarlett said the other day, I fell out of my chair. I felt like such a bad dad, I'll be honest. For anyone that doesn't know, when MG was doing his trucking stream, I hopped on to just keep him company because it was the afternoon for me, and I'd picked Scarlett up from school, and I came out. She knocked on the door because she wanted something to eat, and I'm like, okay, fine, you know where all the snacks are. We keep a specific bowl so that you can get your own snacks and that sort of thing, because we're trying to teach you to be independent. She's like, no, I want an ice cream. Okay, fine. So I get up, I walk out my office door. She turns to me, looks me dead in the eye and says, watch out for Olaf, he's pissing. And there, in her school shoes, sitting in the middle of the hallway, is a stuffed snowman that I just bought her. It was one of those moments where internally I was laughing my ass off. But I had to be a good parent. And I said to her, where did you hear that? And she said, Mommy.
Stringer Bell said rewatching the Depp heard sidebars and was laughing so hard when Jeff did a side-by-side comparison of you and Steven Seagal.
We're gonna have to rewatch the sidebars. We really are. Who's Olaf? The snowman from Frozen. To a video of Jeff modeling his hats. Oh, no, breweries. Whilst I appreciate the clip, no, someone sent me a very important message. And I'm not going to dox them or share it, but it means a lot to me. So, get some peeps on for LFL. How do you think Megan Fox would be? I think Megan's been on for one stream, maybe? I don't know. I don't know that I could. I wouldn't want to strong arm her into that. I think it'd be. You got to remember, Megan's the mom of the group. Like, can't really watch that with your mom. Throw his mum under the bus. My kid told me to get it together when she found me crying yesterday. No sympathy from her. Oh no, Scarlett's been both sweet and horrifying. I think it was Wednesday morning because I got up. She gave me a cuddle and she said to me, "Daddy, is Uncle Jeff still died?" And I said, "Yes, sweetheart. That's not going to change." She's only just wrapping her head around it because we lost her grandmother a little while ago, and I think she's only just coming to terms with that. And yeah, happens to me all the time. My wife shoots me daggers at me because she can see I'm struggling to hold in the laughing at me inappropriate kids. Yep. Under Siege 5, Koala's Fury. If Megan's the mum of Lordship, Jeff was the drunkle who had the best stories. Abso-friggin-lutely. Am I going to be on laid back law today? Probably not. I'm surprised I'm still going and I'm still awake, I'll be honest. It's almost 3 a.m. here. Found the clip of Jeff interacting with her on stream during the panel. It was precious. All right, hang on. Okay.
I did reach out to Flux. She may still be asleep.
Oh, damn it. I don't know how to do this without... Okay, hang on. Hang on. I think I can...
All right.
Move this one across, because I don't want to accidentally dox Burberries or anything like that, so... Alright, so this was from LFL. Put it in Discord, tagged in the stream link section. Thank you.
Night. Well, to be fair, Tweety, I did reach out to Flux. She may still be asleep.
Oh, yeah, I messaged her too.
Offense.
It'll be. I said, Flux, get over to Aussie Stream now! You're missing it! She didn't reply.
Well, that's just it, Jill. I was hoping. We've been talking about in the next couple of years me sponsoring him so that he could work here for a bit. And I don't know when he was planning to, but above the law, Aussie style. Yes, for those of you that don't know, that was Titty Ball. Jeff and I would watch on a Sunday. Originally, it was like we at the start we tried so hard to just be like, yeah, no, it's because we're fighting back against feminism and the ridiculousness and misogyny and all and left, right, and center. And while for the most part that was all still valid, by the end of it, he was watching Bonnie's ass. I was enjoying Tali jumping up and down on the field. You can only watch the same games over and over again when it becomes less about the story and the theme behind it, and you're just sitting there enjoying the game, you know? Best football watch parties ever. All right.
Night. Well, to be fair, Tweety, I did reach out to Flux.
Okay. It's the first time seeing the monkey dance clip was hilarious. He was screaming no. In the beginning, I hated it due to the outfits, but then I loved it because they played like NFL on that field. Oh, yeah. For those of you that the commentators were very bad. It did make me really proud of the Aussie girls, though, because they played hard and they hit hard. And I was then worried about them scratching their legs in their ass. Hilarious watching same game multiple times and still not know the score. Or who was going to win. Like, it was always very... Yeah, it was roller derby-ish. That's exactly what it was. Oh, crap. We have definitely hit the goal. Thank you very much. I'll get a new cigar this weekend, and hopefully we can do a cigar stream. Was that the stream Flux said she was busy cleaning the house? Can't remember. Might have been one of the other ones. I mean, let's be fair. The Titty Ball streams were never...
Sherry Reed said, I have many favorites of you and Jeff, but one of them is when you and Jeff had some drinks and told each other dad jokes on Titty Ball. I laughed so much I had tears.
Sherry Reed said, I have many favorites of you and Jeff, but one of them is when you and Jeff had some drinks and told each other dad jokes on Titty Ball. I laughed so much I had tears.
You got a twofer on that. But you're welcome. Yeah, no, and we would just do that as well. Like, we just text each other dad jokes as well, which I thought was hilarious. LFL equals, shut up, Mitch. Got in trouble for asking if she was cleaning the carpet. Oh, God. Give it so much money on that stream to keep me company at work. So good. The dad joke stream had me crying. My husband thoroughly enjoyed watching those streams with you and Jeff. He'd put it on the YouTube stream just before the NFL games. See? It's something enjoyable. And God forbid we have something nice in the world. All right. Look, I'm acutely aware that I need to maintain and continue to be entertaining to you guys because, not going to lie, back in my head, holy shit, there's 200 people watching. I haven't had this many viewers in the last however long. I don't want you all pissing off when you realize that I'm not that entertaining. So, what we'll do is, where are we? LFL's amazing. He was a sucker for Bonnie's booty. Absolutely. He seemed to have an endless supply of dad jokes. He was the only person I knew that could out-dad joke me. Okay? Honestly. And frankly, at this point, he was the only person that could out-drink me. So... His number one was still Jane Corbell. Of course she was. We got past you not being entertaining long ago. Fuck. That was nicely timed. Shit, what was I going to say? God, I feel fucked-hearted right now. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Like, I said it in chat the other day, but we all know the infamous puke stream. The Monday morning where I started streaming at like 5 a.m. and Brandon got me good. We know this. I own that. I just... Did you hear about the actress who was stabbed? Reese Witherspoon. No, with a knife. Oh, Brandon got me good. But the first message that I got after that was, dude, that was epic. How's your head? Believe you were in a Reese's shirt. Anyway, okay, so we had... I'll do this video that KLF did, which, congratulations on getting to 24,000. That's amazing, by the way. We forgot all about the puke stream. I sure as shit didn't, and I'm not going to let myself forget it, okay? I own that. I very much own that. To a certain extent, I'm proud of it, so... The girl in a car that threw up so hard she shit herself. Jesus! Okay, hang on. What do Alexander the Great and Kermit the Frog have in common? Now I'm worried, Bifrons. They both have the as a middle name. But did you learn anything? yes, that if I'm going to drink, I need carbs first. And I now have my emergency packet of chips in the cupboard just in case. I think Jeff could outdrink a German. Why did Jesus stop trusting humans? Oh no. He didn't want to get double crossed. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. I think my favorite one's still Mickey's in court and Minnie's divorce attorney says, "So you're saying that the reason for your divorce is that you think my client is crazy?" Mickey turns to him and says, "No, I said she was fucking goofy." Jeff's a good drinker because he's part Scottish. Yeah. Mad you made a particular stream disappear and involve Jesus. That stream had to be relegated, unfortunately. Because that stream I learnt my lesson from as well. What do the cannibal call his soup made from a humerus? A laughing stock. Okay, all right. We'll be here for hours. Let's play this video, and then I've got to get some sleep so that Scarlett can get a video. What do you call it? I'll be asleep. All right. Pictures, thank you. Yes, she needs to get her Santa pictures. Is this supposed to have audio, or have I messed up?
So,
okay.
Tough time figuring out what exactly is going on here.
I promise you I will do that, okay? At some point, what I will do is I will do an open mic night to see who can out dad joke me. I'll come prepared. You guys can either call in or log in. Give us your best dad joke, and we'll see where we get to, okay? I think that'd be a great idea for a stream. Only lesson I learned from drinking is mesh garbage cans don't hold liquids. Related, it's easier to clean up puke when you're still drunk. This is true. Because then you don't care about it.
Here with you. And where's Mr. Johnson? Where does he live right now?
According to Google, he lives in Olympia or Hollywood.
Okay. Do you know where in either place?
Well, he works as a what used to be called special effects, but they call it visual effects.
When was the last time you've had any interaction with him?
20 years ago. That's the last time I seen him in person. I believe I seen him a couple of times though, out in the woods.
Wait, what? He's asking for a temporary protection order from someone that he hasn't seen in 20 years? Yes, mum jokes will still count, Jill. Don't worry. But just keep in mind, I have an entire book to pull from.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that?
Well, he's a big, heavy-set guy. Fat, like 6'1", fat.
Ooh, I'm going to piss off all the ladies in the chat. What's a mum joke? Wait for the cat. Wait for the cat. No, a mum joke is... How do you turn the dishwasher into a floor cleaner? Give the bitch a broom. Sorry, ladies.
And balding on top. And he was dressed real expensively.
And so what did he do when you were out there seeing him?
Oh, he ran off. I'd take off.
I don't understand. So you haven't seen him First,
Oh,
did you hear what I said about that definition of harassment? A willful course of conduct directed at a specific person. And so both of these people who would
I'm sorry. It's the first one that came to my mind. Oh, Dork, I know that one, and I'm not taking any responsibility for it.
in front of me before, they've talked about, people who are bothering them in some capacity or some way, shape, or form. I don't understand what the allegations with Mr. Johnson are with regard to an order. Someone you haven't seen
Oh
in
shit,
20
I just looked over and like 20 people have gone. Was it really that bad of a joke, or am I just not paying attention?
years. Someone you may have seen just based on the description of their clothes and general build. I mean, that doesn't make it to an order.
He says it. The stalker that comes around at night says he's Jeremy Johnson, and he does like things with visual effects, like he makes these holograms and stuff like that, and stages little drama like things and whatnot.
Okay, one more. Ladies, I'm sorry. What's the new name for having sex in the kitchen? Loading the dishwasher. All right.
Like movies. He works in movies.
And you don't know how to get a hold of him or how to get him served or anything like that?
No, not really. I do know his family. I could ask them.
Okay. Well, so again, unlawful harassment is a knowing and willful course of conduct directed at a specific person which seriously alarms, annoys, or harasses, or is detrimental to such person which serves no legitimate or lawful purpose. Based on what you've said, I cannot make a finding, even in the light most favorable to you, that you've demonstrated to me a pattern of harassment. So I can't really set this. You're going to have to be more specific about allegations and things that he's done. Specific, and let me finish, please. Specific things that have gone on. And you need to know where this person is. And if it's in California, then that's, that's not going to hold any weight in California anyway. You need to go to California probably to get an order there. So,
I promise I'll behave.
Really, go ahead. I'll talk to you. But do you see where I'm coming from here?
Last night when I was filling out those papers, he was out there, either him or in person, or he's electronic.
I wanted to make a joke about the kids and Michael Jackson's hologram, but I think I've already scared enough people away. We're just going to move on.
Expert, he's a genius.
Okay.
And either him or one of his devices was saying he'd come over there and cut my throat and cut my cock off.
Excuse me?
Rape me, murder me. That was just last night.
And how do you know it was him?
Well, he was saying it was him. That's all I know. He was saying it was him.
I mean, did you see his face or did you see?
He does know like personal details of my life and stuff, and my family and stuff.
I was literally about to say that.
Was this outside your house?
Not only does she laugh, she tells her own and gets me back. That's part of what we do. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get across or get the chicken coop to lay one? Judge is questioning his life decisions. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, I'm homeless. I sleep right over there beside the.
That's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm wondering, like, he's saying that this hologram has been talking to him and saying shit. I'm wondering if someone just like hacked his TV or like a wireless photo frame or some shit like that, and they're messing with him. Like, what the fuck?
Or the WIC building.
Okay. And someone you haven't seen in 20 years, why in the world would he be picking you out?
I'm a sex offender. I raped his sister 30 years ago.
Okay.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I'm trying to oh, here we go.
The Aussie was too stunned to speak.
I have to go back over that again.
Why in the world would he be picking you out?
I'm a sex offender. I raped his sister 30 years ago.
Okay, he really did just say that.
Okay. So and again, you haven't, you think this was him outside your window, but you can't. But again, literally, you haven't had any contact. Did you go like 20 years without seeing or hearing from him?
I seen him one time about 20 years ago when I first got out of prison.
All right.
And he seemed okay then.
And this thing you saw last night, you're not sure whether that was him or a hologram. Is that also correct?
That's true. I don't know. He's like an expert. He does like avatars. Latest movie he's made.
Yeah, well, I tend to doubt he worked on the movie Avatar.
Yeah.
How do you know this?
Read it on the what you call it? The
I don't know what you call it until you tell me.
Fuck, I'm thinking of having him committed.
You go to the movie, they have these posters.
Yeah, I'm aware of the posters. I didn't realize his name was on there.
Jeremy Johnson. And he's on Google too. You can Google.
Well, I'm not going to.
And I believe he's.
There was just the ever slightest smile on the judge's face because he has no idea what the hell that he's thinking of. Where's the men in white suits? I've been more worried about the men in black at this point.
Been hacking my telephone too. The last two of them I've had didn't work. One would black out, and this lady.
Dude's got mental issues.
Locked. Get locked up on there. I was playing solitary, and it just.
So, Mr. Bond.
I'll be perfectly honest, okay? On the one hand, if he's seeing this guy, it's probably because whatever mental issues he has is causing his brain to degenerate, and he may, for the love of God, be feeling some guilt over what he did. They're coming to take me away. Hee hee hoo ha! They're coming to take me away.
You know, based on what you've been presented and what you've said, and I don't have any doubt that you probably believe this. But in order for me to enter an order, I need a little bit more corroboration about all this. If you had someone who lived with you, who wrote a declaration and said, yeah, I saw this guy claiming to be Jeremy Johnson, and he made these threats and so forth. I
could,
and again, particularly in light of the fact when you have no idea where this person is or how to serve him or anything like that, or you can get some information from, I will tell you, I have a difficult time with the concept of someone's creating, 20, 30 years after what apparently is a horrific fact, someone creating a hologram just to just to bother you. I don't.
We don't even have half decent real life application hologram technology that would be available to someone that isn't in the military or whatever else. Don't at me, people. It's scary that the more likely scenario here is that the guy actually is physically standing outside his window than what this guy is claiming. Bloody hell. The schizophrenia is strong in this one. Yes, yes, feel the craziness.
I find that difficult to comprehend, to be frank with you.
Well, insane people do insane things.
Yeah, that's
And-
true.
and
I'm not denying that.
The thing.
Yeah, but you got to remember, it's not mobile or anything.
I got attacked
Like that.
machete. I got
The commercially viable ones are like, I'm not talking about the ones like where you've got like Michael Jackson dancing on stage or Tupac and all that sort of stuff. This one would theoretically have to be mobile enough to move and like, yeah.
stopped and back the head.
I saw
by a
that in there,
machete.
yeah.
And I think he was behind that he put them people up to that.
Well,
and I ignored like people would,
I got through very little of my coke
there's
today.
no such
Just saying.
thing and stuff that all in your head. I ignored that, left my guard down. Sure enough, nearly died. And now he's back. Sure.
Well, again, before I enter an order against someone where you don't even know where this person lives or how to serve him, I'm gonna need a little bit more corroborating evidence than that. And so I'm going to deny it this time without prejudice, which means you can bring it back if you get some additional evidence. You can do that. But for now, I'm not going to enter it. I'm not going to set it for hearing, and I'm not going to set it for an order based on what's in front of me at the moment.
Would like the testimony of my
fair.
sister say? To,
I can't tell you how to prepare your case or what to do or anything like that. You can do what you think is necessary and appropriate. And then if you can convince a judge, whether it's me or one of the other judges here, then they'll take a look at it. But I can't say, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then bring it back to me. It'd be inappropriate for me to do that.
Judge is clever though.
my sister may have a protection against Tallis County.
You can talk to her about that. And yeah, you can certainly talk to her, and you're free to bring it back. But based on what's in front of me, I can't enter an order on this.
Well, one of the main things is I didn't.
Oh God, yes, great success. I took a bottle with me to Vegas and shared it around. Flux, if you're still in chat, you can corroborate, but Australian Coke is the best Coke. It's Australian Coke, Mexican Coke, US Coke. May God have mercy on your souls for how bad that stuff was. I took one sip when I was in America and couldn't do it.
I really believe you could, but I wanted to get it.
But I'm drinking sweet tea the whole time.
Okay, you're free to go.
Just in case it kills me tonight. Thank you.
Yep.
Just in case he kills me.
Good luck to you, sir.
Well, see, the irony is that American Coke tastes like a downgraded version of our Coke Zero, which is really weird. Yes, the judge deserves a massive award for that. That was amazing. Yeah, it's because the what do you call it? Because they've got so much put into corn crops. The high fructose corn syrup is in pretty much everything. Nix's Colombian is best. Well, yeah. I drink soda period, but American Coke's really bad. Yeah. I actually do have a bottle of Mexican Coke in the fridge that I was meaning to crack open and do like a taste test thing. But yeah. Oh, all right, people. It's 3:15 in the morning. I really need to get out of here. Thank you so much to everyone that's been watching. I will have a quick look, see if there's anywhere that I can shunt everyone across to. But God bless you for being here and putting up with my shenanigans. And nothing's showing up. I might have to send you off into the wild. But yes, please, for the love of God, hit the sub button if you haven't already. Just double check whether or not you're still subscribed if you've been here previously, and hit the like button. It costs you nothing. I still can't bring myself to finish that. Maybe someday, or maybe I'll just have him do the video for me. I'll use it as a clip. We'll see what happens. But as always, please remember, you're not a piece of shit. You have value and do contribute to society. And if nothing else, I think the last week has taught us that everybody makes a contribution. Oh, Hunley's on. Hang on, I can send everyone across there, but that's not for 45 minutes. So, you know, it's up to you if you want to find something else to do in the meantime. Can I redirect Hunley? Actually, no, you know what I'm gonna... oh, there it is. Oh, fuck, it's a memorial stream. I need sleep. I'll be there in spirit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all across to the Moddy Christmas stream so you can hit the notification so you know when that's going on, okay? But yes, I think the last week has taught us that everyone makes a contribution to society, and do even something as little, even doing something little or doing something big can make a huge impact on someone's life. I think that that's something we've all learned in the last week or so. So, as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Tell your family you love them. Never end on a rough note. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. Cheers, peeps. Click the save button there. And credits time.
I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.